Welcome to a world of thrills, a world of drama, of capes and tights, a world where death is a revolving door. Welcome to the Geek Matrix.
Welcome to the Geek Matrix, DC Comics Review Show, episode number, Josh?
207.
207. Hallelujah. I had a feeling, but I couldn't remember if it was that or 206. I don't know why I'm falling behind on that. I gotta start
I
writing
don't
these
know.
down.
It's been going on for like a month. You're like, I feel like we skipped a week.
Fuck, man. I don't know. Ever since I missed a week, I just got fucked up.
There's
Anyway,
what it is.
we're here. I'm here. My name is Rob.
Hi,
With
Rob.
me, you heard him, is Josh. Hi, Josh.
Hi, Josh.
And Brandon is back.
Brandon is back.
About
Back again.
mankind.
Yes.
Brandon's back.
And I am
Friend.
all in, which will
Ah.
mix.
Ah, yes, Brandon Chandler is all elite.
You could even say I'm BC all in.
With
That for a second.
There you
Ah.
go.
That's if you have been not online over the past couple of days looking at comic book news, then you have no idea what Brandon is talking about when he says the words DC all in.
But you're about to find out.
You are about to find out, and I say, why the hell don't we just jump right into it? Because there's so much to talk about.
Ooh, boy, is there ever.
So much to talk about. So
I guess, I can go first with the video announcement. I think it was yesterday. Joshua Williamson and Scott Snyder had a little video they posted on YouTube, a little 10-minute clip detailing stuff that's going to be happening after Absolute Power finishes. I believe it's starting in October.
Yes.
There is going to be a single issue one-off primer called
DC all in?
Is it just called DC All In? But it's a flip book. It's a flip book because the one side is DC All In and the flip side is Absolute.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah. We
It's
probably
a flip
should have
book.
looked this up.
I just don't remember. I thought I had it in my head, but now I
Absolute
don't
Universe.
remember. That's it. Absolute Universe
Yes.
primer number 1, something like that. I thought I had it in my head, but then I would say it like, oh shit.
If you flip through it the first way, it's from the point of view of, I believe, Superman.
Yes.
And if you flip it through the back way, then it's from the point of view of Darkseid.
Yes. So the one side with Superman is him in the main continuity, palling around with a veritably new Justice League lineup that's they kind of buried the lead there, will be premiering most likely in that issue. And if you watch the video, there is a group of heroes that they show on the cover of that single issue that I'm assuming is the Justice League lineup going forward.
I think that's
And
a pretty safe guess.
Yeah. That includes Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Jon Stewart, Green Lantern, Wally West, Flash, Martian Manhunter, Starfire, Zatanna, and Booster Gold.
It's a very interesting lineup, but
Very interesting.
also I have some questions as we'll get into some of the other news later.
Yeah, like, why is Booster Gold there?
Yeah. Why is Starfire there when
Why is Ted Kord not there?
spoilers? Yeah. Well, I don't know. He's probably bankrupt again or something.
I mean,
Got financials to worry about.
that happened in Blue and Gold miniseries, and they still inducted him into the Justice League, but they rejected Booster, so I don't know. We'll
I'm
see.
sure the offer is there, but he's just like, no, I need money. Like,
Yeah, I'm busy rebuilding Palmyra
Yeah.
City. Great. So there's that. Is one side is the perspective of Superman with the new Justice League looking towards the future post Absolute Power. And on the flip side, like Josh said, is from the perspective of Darkseid, where he feels a new power, a new presence inside the multiverse, and he's trying to figure out what it is. This is a Darkseid back to his old self, his old new god status on Apocalypse, and back to full power. And he is trying to figure out what this new energy, this new power could possibly be, which most likely is what you see on the flip side cover. If you see the images of these characters, you will understand why. It is what's being called Absolute Comics. The Absolute Universe from DC is a brand new continuity that will exist somewhere within the multiverse. It's a whole new universe, and it's basically DC's answer to Marvel's Ultimate Comics. Is
Basically.
the easiest way to describe it.
Not subtle at all.
Not subtle in the slightest, except the difference is where Marvel built Ultimate Universe back in the year 2000 to just be a secondary set of comics for more adult readers to enjoy comics and just get a fresh start, and also try and boost their sales again. DC's doing it with the express purpose of fairly quickly converging it with the main continuity, which Marvel didn't do for 10 years? At least because they had their own Ultimate events.
The closest crossover we got was the Invasion of Galactus, and I guess that would have been almost 10 years later.
But was that? Well, that was Ultimate. No,
that was 616 Galactus during Cataclysm or whatever that was called, Ultimate Cataclysm.
No, it wasn't. No, they had like some kind of. It was Galactus. It was his own. It was Ultimate Galactus. It wasn't like 616 Galactus.
Are you sure?
Yeah. It was like a whole bunch. It was a whole bunch of drones.
Yeah, I thought that was
made up like a consciousness called Galactus.
Let's see.
Unless they were both there. I think 616 Galactus did end up there eventually, but that initial event was, I think Cataclysm. I think is what it was called. That was That was Ultimate Galactus. It was an entirely different one. It was GAH-LAC-TUS.
Yeah.
Or GLAK rather. LAK. Yeah. It was a weird time. That event, I remember, didn't go over well.
Yeah. I guess I must have just thought that was the 616 Galactus. It went over my head.
Yeah, it was a whole bunch of like, the drones from the Matrix, but instead of tentacles, it has the jazzes coming out of Galactus' head.
Doombots unite.
Yeah, tomorrow. So that, I think the first real 616 6010 crossover might have been BMB's Spider-Man.
Yeah, which that would have been
Ultimate Fantastic Four.
Oh yeah, well,
when Reed was universe hopping, but I don't know if he passed through 616.
No. I was gonna say there was the tease of what people thought was gonna be the 616 Reed Richards, but it was actually the Marvel Zombies.
Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, that was so fun. Yeah, that was an interesting story arc. So DC's just going for it right away. I gotta say, this is very reminiscent of the movies. Marvel took their time, built the universe, did Avengers 5th, took them 4 or 5 years, and then they built up over like 22 movies in 10 years to get to Endgame, and it was big, brawl, and DC fast-tracked it in like 4 years.
Yeah.
And
although you could say that the New 52 was kind of an attempt to try an Ultimate style. We're going to redo everything right from the start with simplified continuity and, less backlog to get through.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Your mileage
But-
may vary on that answer.
But can I ask, who the fuck needed that?
They did, I
know.
guess.
I didn't. I was finally getting into like more DC continuity comics at the time, and then they're like, "Nah, fuck it, we're just done."
Well, I think when Batman begins selling below like 80,000 units, that's when they start to panic and they need to do something drastic. But
Yeah.
instead of a relaunch, they decided to just completely reboot the whole thing. And,
Yeah.
you know the story.
And to be fair,
To be fair.
to
To be fair.
Court of Owls is an amazing fucking story arc.
It
Yeah,
really
we don't
To
need to
this
we don't need
day.
to rehash the old New 52 debate. But
No,
I think the
No,
long and
I'm
short
not-
of it is
I'm not even going to debate that. Just like
that's like
Court of Owls at this point is still
Yeah.
maybe the best Batman story in the last 10 years,
yeah.
if not at
Which-
least one of.
Apparently, is a story that would have happened, reboot or no, according to Scott Snyder.
Yeah, I believe it. And I say 10 years, but fuck, that was like 13 years ago.
Yeah, and allegedly might have been Dick
An
Grayson.
ostrich.
Yeah, I don't know. That's I gotta fact check that, but
The
Might have
Astrid?
been
Yeah.
Dick Grayson as Batman.
well, no. The Court of Owls story idea would have originally starred Dick Grayson, just because Snyder was doing the Detective
okay.
Comics Black Mirror arc with Grayson as Batman at the time.
Right.
So it would have just kind of carried over from that.
That would have been interesting.
Awesome.
Which is why he's like featured so prominently in that, that first part of the story.
Yeah,
The big reveal that his ancestor was a Talon.
he is the gray son of Gotham.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Back
yeah, we
Absolute
trained
Mistake.
topic. I'm sorry, I just jumped. Somehow it all leads back to the New 52. Yeah, so Absolute Comics is dropping in October. We do have, we'll get full information from San Diego Comic-Con. I believe it's next week, if not the week after.
Yes.
Bleeding
at least have
Cool
some
has
theories.
been, yeah. Bleeding Cool has been revealing a couple of things that they hear through the grapevine. But I'm not going to detail all of that because I am a firm believer in, even if it's a rumor or a leak, none of it's confirmed until it is confirmed.
Well,
So
three-
If it's on
yeah,
Bleeding
three-
Cool.
Yeah, three titles have been confirmed, but the rest are still.
I mean, for creative teams at least.
Yeah, no, like
Yeah.
they've had their official announcements and everything.
Oh, okay. So yeah, we have obviously Absolute Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. Scott Snyder, I believe, is penning Absolute Batman.
Yes,
With who drawing?
Nick Drago. Oh,
I was gonna say, was it
Shit.
Nick Dracotta?
yeah, Nick Drago.
Dakota.
Don't let
Yeah.
me step on your lines.
No, go for it. I was trying to remember.
Well, also,
I
love-
wasn't gonna mention it, so I didn't write down the creative team. So if you remember who it is for Wonder Woman and Superman,
Oh yeah, no, I've got it up here. Wonder Woman is Kelly Thompson and Hayden Sherman, and Absolute Superman is Jason Aaron and Rafa Sandoval.
right? So that's gonna be an interesting Superman written by
Mhm.
Jason Aaron.
Yeah,
His little stint on Action Comics was pretty good, so we will see. Yeah, so there's that to look forward to. Rumored as well is Absolute Green Lantern, Absolute Flash, and Absolute Martian Manhunter.
Mhm.
That we
I
know
thought
of.
all of those were confirmed titles.
Unless they were in the video, because I didn't finish the video. But
No,
Ah,
those
I
three
got it.
have not been confirmed yet. I assume
yeah.
they'll be coming either later this week or at San Diego. But
Yeah. The info I have right now is all from Bleeding Cool.
yeah, one of the creators involved. I'm not surprised to see it all, considering Scott Snyder is involved. And if you know, you know. Yeah, it should be interesting to see.
Well, if you say that, there's only two people that pop into my head, and it should
Jock
be
and
way
Greg
more.
Capullo.
No. You're
Thank
thinking artistically. I'm thinking on the writer's side of things.
Oh, okay.
He is also an artist. And that should be a dead giveaway.
Jocks.
No.
Well, Jocks Capullo. That's who fucking popped into my head.
Yeah, that's the same thing.
They're very good friends.
Who is
Jocks
like,
and Capullo?
Who is Scott
Everybody
Snyder
fucking loves
not
Scott
a good
Snyder.
friend?
That's not fucking
But, yeah.
Do you guys not know the lore of spoilers? You can skip this part if you want. The lore of Scott Snyder and Jeff Lemire's friendship.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Wait, yeah, hold on.
I did
Did I
not
hear
know.
that I think I heard that Lemire is the one that will be writing Flash.
Yes.
Yes.
Again, allegedly.
Yeah, that's the rumor.
He did like literally say he's all in on DC on his social media, so you can
Fair
assume
enough.
he's doing something.
So did Tom Taylor.
Yeah.
You bunch
But-
of jerks.
But Tom Taylor, as far as we know, is not doing an absolute comic. He's doing another comic after Nightwing.
Yes.
And I
Correct.
think that's about all the info we have for Absolute right now until San Diego Comic-Con.
God, I
So-
hope Taylor goes back to Detective Comics.
Now
Sorry. Continue.
we will. The hell are you saying, Josh?
Like, as if you don't already know.
What?
What Taylor's doing?
Yeah.
Shut up. Is he going to Detective Comics?
We talked about it.
Yeah.
earlier.
I didn't talk about it. Y'all talked about
When
it.
he-
I thought you were reading the chat.
Yeah.
Ooh, y'all
Josh,
okay.
drop way
So Rob and I were
minutes.
talking
Yeah.
about it very prominently.
we
I
will-
scroll through and look at pictures, and that's it. When it comes time for new comic news to be dropping, I look at the pictures, and that is all, guys.
Okay, well, you've got a lot of surprises coming your way. Brandon's going to detail all the new stuff coming from DC all in October, which includes a whole host of new creative teams for
Yes.
various books, including new story arcs from some books where creative teams are not changing.
Yes, and I want to make sure I have my lists because there's a lot of changes. Some very surprising, some
Not surprising.
not surprising,
Yeah.
and I feel pretty validated in that. Where the hell?
I mean, your validation has me like heavily curiosity piqued and excited.
Yes, and I would love to talk more about it, but apparently my computer does not want to cooperate. So,
Oh no,
okay,
well,
here we go.
you got it. Okay.
Okay, so if everyone in the audience is all in, then we can go all in on this DC news. But Rob already teed it up nicely. Yeah, there you go. That wasn't even. I wasn't even trying to do a joke. That was just. I don't know what that was. But yeah, Rob teed it up very nicely. In addition to the new line of Absolute comics that will be coming out in October, there's a number of rather expansive creative changes that are happening across the series of books. But the one thing that they really wanted to stress, and this is where we differ from the New 52, is that everything that's happening with the Absolute Comics universe is not going to interact with the other universe. This is not a reboot. It's just a relaunch. They made that very clear because I think they
Yeah.
were scared that people were going to be like, oh no, another reboot. This sucks. I'll stop dancing around it now. So as I'm sure people are aware, a number of books have recently announced that they'll be shifting creative teams, and we finally have confirmation on who some of the next creative teams will be. So I'm just going to read it off in order of what they have on Adventures in Poor Taste. But taking over from Ram V with Detective Comics number 1090 is Tom Taylor and Mikhail Hanin. They will be doing a new story arc, Mercy of the Father, that apparently will result in major changes for the Dark Knight, and things may never be the same again. Oh boy, yeah, I'm sure they won't. I'm sure they won't.
Yeah.
I love marketing. It's so
Right?
Next up, we have perhaps what might be the biggest bombshell for me, at least, just because I think a lot of people never thought they'd see the day. But taking over, at least for a while, on Action Comics, is none other than Mr. Mark Waid, joined by Clayton Henry. with Supergirl backups from Mariko Tamaki and Skylar Patridge on art.
Interesting.
Wade's first
Yeah.
arc is going to be called Death of the Phantom Zone, and apparently is going to be spinning out of Absolute Power directly. But the reason I think people are really shocked is because, again, for anyone who knows their DC Comics lore, Mark Waid rather famously, along with Grant Morrison, Mark Miller, and Tom Payer was part of the Superman 2000 pitch that kind of got them in hot water in DC 24 years ago. And there was a rumored embargo that the 4 people who were involved in that project would never touch an ongoing Superman title. That was what all 4 of them claimed, at least until Morrison took over Action Comics in 2011. And I thought that would always be the case. I was like, well, I guess Mark Waid will never get his chance to do a in continuity Superman story, not counting World's Finest, not counting Birthright, something that is like definitively a main Superman book. And here we are 24 years later, and history. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited
Well,
for that.
what do you know? Those damn ketchup commercials were right.
Yeah, history has changed. It's nice. I'm glad. There is no bigger fan, I think, in the world of Superman than Mark Waid. Sorry, Glenn. I don't know if you're listening to this.
Well, he will be, and he's gonna have words with you.
I mean, look, Mark Waid is. I've seen interviews with the guy. He is a scary amount of knowledge for Superman. More so than anyone else, I think, that knows the thing. But anyway, that's Action Comics, and that starts with 1070. Superman will be keeping its writer, Joshua Williamson, at least for the time being, but will be changing up its artists as Dan Mora joins the series, which I don't even need to say anything else. It's Dan Mora. It's pretty awesome. They have a new story that apparently is also spinning out of Absolute Power and will be bringing back Doomsday as well as the Time Trapper. And there is a new Superwoman who apparently is Lois, who now has powers. More on that later. So that'll be exciting. Wonder Woman continues with its creative team, so no changes there. Green Arrow, with probably my second favorite reveal, is also, as mentioned, getting its new creative team as Josh Williamson and Sean Isaacs are stepping off the book. And replacing them is none other than Chris Condon of That Texas Blood fame, which was one of the best books I read in 2020. And that was his first comic book ever.
Shut up.
Shocked. He was and I remember seeing that book, like the preview for that book in the back of Criminal, of Ed Brubaker's Criminal run in 2020. And I was like, oh, this looks interesting. I'll check it out. And I read it. And I was like, first issue, not too bad. It's all right. Second issue, oh, this is pretty good. By the 5th issue, I was like, this is the fucking best book of the year. Needless to say, huge fan of his independent stuff. Just a phenomenal writer, at least as far as That Texas Blood is concerned. And I hate to be the guy, because I like people getting to do what they want and exploring the independent side of things. But there is like I don't know, maybe the small fanboy in me that maybe not so small. That's just like, you go, man. Like, good for you. You're getting to explore the opportunities in the superhero side of things. So I hope you have fun. So Condon is joined by Montos of Green Lantern War Journal fame. So I'm sure the art is going to be excellent. And hopefully will be a great story to join it as well. And then there are a couple more reveals. I hope I get all of them right. So I'm just going to kind of speed through these.
Before we jump into that, sorry, I was looking for my lotion because I got to lotion my tattoo. Hell yeah, Montos on Green Arrow. I'm super happy. But the one thing I am really excited about, and this might just be for me, is that with that issue, Green Arrow is going into legacy numbering.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be issue number 350.
I don't know how they're adding all that up, but okay.
And just went back and counted all of the Green Arrow books so far.
Well, I'm like,
Yeah.
where did you start? From the 1983 miniseries, or from the
Probably
1987 miniseries, or
they had to
the?
collect all kinds
I'm
of
like,
them in order to hit
well,
three.
yeah, I'm like, did you start from that one? Did you start from Longbow Hunters? Are you
I mean,
including Longbow
knowing
Hunters?
They went through
knowing
all of
how
it and then counted all the shit from the UK Panini.
Jeez.
knowing that for some people, I don't know if it's DC itself, they count Green Lantern Volume 2 issues 201 to 224 as Green Lantern Corps Volume 1.
Uh-huh.
They might also be counting Green Lantern Green Arrow
Yeah, that's
as
also
well,
something.
which that's something like 30 issues right there.
Yeah, because I was like, how exactly are we getting to three? I mean, I'd have to do the math, but I know the first solo run is like, oh, I want to say 130 something issues in total.
Yeah.
Second one is like 67,
Yeah, see,
and then
it's
It'll add up.
a bunch of
so I'm like,
small-
maybe 350, but I'd have to check the math on that. I also don't care, so I probably won't.
Fair.
But anyway, yeah, the rest of the creative teams, or at least rest of the creative teams announced today, are Philip Kennedy Johnson and Javier Rodriguez taking over for Joshua Williamson and Simone DeMeo on Batman and Robin. What was it?
It's going to be a hell of a book to see the third part of the Interspace trilogy.
Oh God, I hope it does not continue there. I think that would be horrible.
Yeah, having the flame of Olgrun appear in Batman and
Yeah.
Robin is
Might
a bit
be-
out there.
might be a bit but yes, replacing Tom Taylor and several artists on Nightwing is Dan Waters and oh my God, I forgot his name, Dexter Soy.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Yeah.
Such an odd combination, but I'm very excited to see what the result will be. 'Cause
I mean,
love
that
surprise.
is weird because Waters is so far out there, and Dexter Soy is such a technical artist.
Well, I was thinking more just like, what would the story be? Because I was trying to think. I was like, well, he's mostly a horror writer or does horror related stuff, and I couldn't really think of any examples of him doing, let's say, the more lighter superheroic things, except for the Superman Wonder Woman miniseries from Future State and like the short story he did for Superman Red and Blue. Beyond that, it's all been like the horror stuff. It's been Azrael, it's been Arkham City, the Justice League Dark annual, and then just all the backups have been.
What was the really long one?
Which one are
Arkham
you talking about?
Arkham City, Order of the World.
Yeah, Arkham
Order
City.
of the World. That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was straight up just horror meets Gotham City.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Fucking
I
good stuff, man.
I have no idea what this take is going to look like. I'm very fascinated to see. I couldn't even begin to speculate, but it's one of those things where I'm like, yeah, just let me just see what it's like, I suppose.
Oh no.
Yes.
What?
Okay, so Waters, you're right. He writes the very, even if you don't want to use the word horror, he writes the very murky, muddy, dark, twisted kind of stories. And it just crossed my mind that what if Taylor doesn't finish the Heartless story, but sets Waters up for it to get really fucked up?
I would not
Don't
like
want that. I know.
I don't want that, because I think if Taylor manages to stick the landing with the Heartless story, and we'll get into that later, it would be a perfect dismount to just be like, okay, it's done. Do whatever you want with Nightwing.
That's why I went, oh no.
Yeah, that's I was like, that would be worst case scenario.
Yeah.
So I hope that does not happen.
I don't doubt that Dan Waters could work magic with Heartless, but it definitely feels like Tom Taylor has an end to the story.
Yeah, and I also wouldn't really
well,
want to see him pick up the threads from Tom. Like, I would prefer just do your own whatever, do your own story, do your own take.
Give us the 10-eyed man and we'll be happy.
Exactly. That's the line.
10-eyed man and Bloodhaven.
Yeah. But yes, yeah. That's Nightwing. Next, we've got Catwoman, which is replacing its creative team of Teenie Howard et al. With Torin Groenbeck and Fabiana Mascolo. Also interesting. I haven't really read too much from Torin Groenbeck, but I don't have too much to say about her writing style. Titans is getting its new creative team, replacing Taylor and also a bunch of artists with John Layman and Pete Woods, which Rob was really excited about. Yeah. And I was
Hell
like,
yeah.
I think this is probably the first ongoing John Layman's done since Detective Comics, maybe? Correct me if I'm wrong, but
When did he do ongoing for Detective?
he was there, I want to say like 2013, 2014. He did the Gothtopia story, the Emperor Penguin story with like Penguin's son.
That was all John Layman?
That was all John Layman.
Oh, shit. So,
Yeah.
wow.
But like,
Damn.
people,
I don't think I ever realized that was John
yeah,
Layman.
no offense, people were not paying attention to John Layman. They were paying attention to Jason Faber. It was like
Yeah.
destroying the pages with that, and that was like him getting started doing a lot of interior work. So
It's when everybody went, whoa.
yeah, I mean, even though Gothtopia was kind of shit, like you can appreciate the art.
Yes.
Fucking right.
So there you go.
Does he have? Is that like a running trend for Fabic? Like, 'cause even if you take out all the dialogue of Three Jokers, and you just go through and you look at the pictures,
Looks amazing.
Yeah.
that looks amazing.
Well, I don't know. I would have thought that, but him and Jeff Johns are doing a book right now called Rook Exodus that is probably going to be the work of his career. It's like the perfect mesh of story and art.
I am anxiously awaiting the chance to read that.
Oh, it's so, dude, you got it. It's so good. And first issue is going to like its 5th print, so it's selling. Yeah.
Damn, son.
People want it.
Hell yeah.
But I believe that's all of the major creative changes with some of the new books. I think I've hit
Wasn't there a certain long-time Marvel writer that was moving over to DC for this?
Oddly enough, that sounds familiar, but now I can't think of it.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I am completely.
I remember you being
damn
excited about it, Brandon.
Was it L? Wow.
Oh, are you talking about Al Ewing?
Yes.
I didn't think we were going to mention that just because Rob said it was kind of all speculation. Like that.
Oh, see how much I'm reading in Discord, y'all. I skipped the spoilers, so I hear.
Yeah. What was that speculation now about Al Ewing? I don't remember. Yeah. Shows how much I remember about speculative stuff. Is he the one doing Absolute Green Lantern?
Again, allegedly.
Okay, now I remember because I was thinking his Guardians of the Galaxy run was awesome.
Yes.
So if he is doing Absolute Green Lantern until issue 13.
For me, I don't know. Once it got to the,
it only went to 18 issues.
Well, yeah, no, the first 12 issues were great. They fought the Olympian gods or whatever it was.
That was awesome.
And then they did the whole like rebrand thing where they were acting as a unit. And I read the first issue and I was like, yeah, I couldn't get into it.
Well, when
the last Annihilation thing, like it should have been up my alley, but it was
awesome.
Oh yeah, it was. I don't know. It's just like it felt so. I don't know, like
Dormammu took over Ego. Ego became Dormammu.
That's a
so
fun
awesome.
concept, but I was like, I'm not.
They had to fight Dormammu in space.
Also, how do you top like fucking Peter Quill fighting the Olympian gods? You can't top that.
You top it with Dormammu taking over Ego.
No. In comparison,
that's how you top it.
This sucks.
And
but the first 12 issues are
Sun Golem. Yeah.
Yeah, but he became a sun god in those first 12 issues.
Yeah, and then he retained being a sun god.
Yeah,
in the
and he
last
fought
5.
he fought the Olympian gods. That was awesome. And I was
Yeah,
like,
and then he
cool.
used his sun
What
god
next?
power to fight Dormammu as Ego.
Yeah, and it was lame.
You're lame. That was awesome.
Also, they were- I was so excited. They're bringing in Doom too. I was like, this is gonna be great.
Yeah, Doom was on the Guardians of the Galaxy. He helped fight Dormammu as Ego. They had Wiccan and Hulkling there fighting Dormammu as Ego.
I love seeing Billy and Teddy, but it just,
Yes.
that wasn't a good story.
He used his
In my
giant
opinion.
sword to fight Dormammu as Ego. Do I have to say it anymore?
No,
Those
I wish
3
you wouldn't,
words
'cause
alone.
I didn't want to
should
think
be
about it.
enough.
Because thinking about it makes
Any
me sad.
Marvel Cosmic Story reader, it just shit their pants because they're so excited.
Yeah, I did shit my pants because I was like,
But not because you're excited.
this is triggering my bowel movement.
Oh god.
Anyway,
Yes.
yeah, I
That's
believe
alien.
those are all major creative shakeups for DC All In. There may be a couple of artist changes that I'm missing, but I think those are all the, like I said, all the major ones. Oh no, wait, I'm dumb. I'm missing one very important one,
You're missing one very important.
and it was almost purposeful. It was almost out of
Oh.
spite.
The
'cause I
one
hate
you're
take.
most excited about.
I hate your take on the Last Annihilation, but no, I
Well,
almost
hang
missed
on.
it.
Before you get into it, which take do you hate more? My take on The Last Annihilation or my take on Ultimatum?
Oh, Ultimatum.
Okay, fair enough.
That's just patently wrong. Like for the life of me, I cannot understand that.
Yeah.
That's almost like I'm concerned for you.
Says the guy, they're like, oh yeah, no, Dan Waters has like 3 unskinned bodies in
That's
every run.
perfectly
And it's
normal.
normal.
Okay, don't judge me for my weird, slightly insane, masochistic proclivities. Anyway, should I announce this one, or do you want to do the honors?
Please go ahead. Feel free. I just want to read about
So,
it.
for months, we've been speculating about what's going to happen after Green Lantern War Journal comes to an end.
Which happens
think-
next month.
Which happens next month, which is very soon. And I think we were all in agreement that we would love to see the story continue elsewhere, but it might just be wishful thinking. But it did feel like there was still more story to kind of unpack, so it would make sense to try and settle that elsewhere. And my ongoing theory had been consistently that if Philip Kennedy Johnson were to continue the story, it might be, hopefully, in a title called Green Lantern Corps or something equivalent. And much to my surprise, but not at all surprise, we got basically that with the announcement that, where is it? Let me just make sure. Unless, Rob, do you have...
I don't have it on screen, but I have it memorized. That's
I
the
just-
one
I-
announcement today I have locked in my
I
mind.
couldn't remember if it was just the one shot or if it was an ongoing.
So
'Cause I know the creative team.
the book that you're talking about is a one-shot. It's the
Mm.
Green Lantern Civil Cold War Special #1,
Yes.
written by Jeremy Adams and Philip Kennedy Johnson. I don't remember the artists. I believe
Salvador
one of those-
LaRocca.
Oh, Salvador LaRocca for the whole thing? There's only
Yeah.
only him? Okay.
For the whole thing. Yeah.
They are co-writing it because it is heavily tying into what Jeremy Adams is doing in Green Lantern Ongoing, and it will also feature Jon Stewart with the Dark Star ring, specifically, and there's some stuff happening with the Dark Stars as a unit. So Philip Kennedy Johnson will be on there. I suspect it will be his epilogue to writing Jon Stewart, because there is, after War Journal, at least one backup in Green Lantern from Jon Stewart, written by Philip Kennedy Johnson, which I think that's in September, so that will lead into the Green Lantern Civil Corps Special #1. If that leads into a Green Lantern Corps series going forward, I'm sure we'll find out in November, December, if it is real. I certainly hope so. I know Brandon certainly hopes so. Josh, I
Yes.
hope you hope so.
I hope so.
Yes.
Every indication seems to be pointing toward that, but
Yeah.
could still be wrong. But I feel validated in that they're at least continuing the story with some of the Green Lantern Corps.
Yes. The cover of that issue specifically is very interesting because there is it's like a 3-on-3 tag team match. There's 2 sets of 3 lanterns on either side. Does my sound okay? Because I can't hear anything.
Yeah.
I can hear you.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. All right. Okay. Sounds good. I could hear like a fan like this entire time, and all of a sudden it just stopped. What the fuck happened to my headphones? All right. So, no, that's fine. It's quiet now. So you have Hal fighting Red Lantern Sinestro, which I find very interesting that he's sticking around with that, at least for the foreseeable future. You have John. Well, I'll leave him last. You have Joe on Hal's side fighting Jessica on Sinestro's side, and you have John on Hal's side fighting a lantern that is silhouetted on Sinestro's side, but is very obviously Kilowog.
Yeah. Which, surprise, surprise, Kilowog's not dead.
Now,
I mean,
I'm going to say one thing. I'm going to say one thing.
Another Boldaxian, I suppose.
I'm going to say one thing.
Mm.
Kilowog is silhouetted.
Yes.
Obviously, the outline screams Kilowog. It's very much a Boldaxian. You could be right. It could be a different Boldaxian. But there's the fact that he is the last Boldaxian.
That's true.
So,
although, as we
once
learned
he dies, the Boldaxians are gone.
Yeah. Although, as we learned from House of Brainiac, that's not always the case. That doesn't always have to be the case.
Doesn't always have to be.
Yeah, a Bottle City from Boldaxia.
I will say this. The emotional spectrum is gone crazy.
Mm-hmm.
What if Kilowog on that side is a Black Lantern?
Which would mean he is dead?
Yes.
I don't know how to feel about that.
There is a chance. But keep in mind, we're also theorizing that Kyle is becoming a White Lantern again. And what brings the dead back to life? White Lanterns. So Kilowog will wear green again, but I think for now he might just become a Black Lantern. And that would be the only reason that they'd keep that silhouetted, because you can clearly see it's Kilowog, so you know Kilowog's going to be involved, but they're not saying outright that he's going to be back as a Green Lantern.
How pissed would you be if it actually turned out to just be another Boldaxian lantern?
I'd be fucking annoyed. I'll take it as it is. I'd be like, okay, that's cool, but at the same time, just like Kilowog being the last Boldaxian was like integral to his character for the longest time. Right? It's just he's the last one. He's got that emotion to him where he knows he's the last one. He's lost everything, but despite that, he's still fighting strong. He's training the new corps, and he's making sure that nobody has to live the way he's living.
Well, bro, listen, man. If DC Comics has taught me anything, it's that being the last something of anything means it's around 200 somewhere.
Yeah. And it's also not a guarantee.
It's all the same shit.
Yeah, if I've learned anything from House of Brainiac, it's that none of this last stuff is a guarantee.
Oh Christ! The Lobo stuff too. I was thinking Superman, but
Saiyans, Kryptonians, fucking Lobo's race, and Children of Sinestro.
Did you just say Lobo's race?
I don't remember what the hell he is.
Zarnian.
Zarnian, thank you.
Zarnian.
Buddy, you have
Planet
no idea
Zarnian.
how many DC alien species swirl through my head on a daily basis.
That's your fault. You're such a big Green Lantern fan.
Half the time, I need to remind myself: is it Zudar or Xandar? Zudar or Xandar? Zudar or Xandar? Oh wait, yeah.
I was thinking about. I was trying to remember some alien name, and for some reason, the only thing that could pop into my head was the Controllers. But it wasn't the name Controllers. It was just the image of like the big yellow heads with the red. Yeah, with the red circle.
They did have a species name Oh no! Oh, the yellow head with the red circle. No, that's the Dominators.
Oh, the Domino.
Yeah.
See, I fucked it up already.
The controllers
were
were the orange
dark
guys.
side. Yeah.
Yeah.
With the weird robes.
Yeah, they are the Avatar, well, the Guardians of the Orange Light, if you will. Which
See,
I want
literally
to
just
say they were the
doubled down on my
original
point.
Karens, and
Mhm.
then that kind of got retconned, and now it's just Lurklings.
Yeah. Well, if rereading some parts of Green Lantern Corps has taught me anything, it's that I know nothing about aliens when I thought I did. I thought I knew so much. I didn't.
That's why I'm a cosmic reader, because there's so much to give in, so much to take in, and it can all eventually make sense.
Mm.
It's not like where you're absorbing Batman continuity and you have to follow how many different Robins there are and the timeline of it all and how many retcons there have been. Is Alfred dead or alive? Who's Robin, Tim, or Damian? You know, which time did Bruce die this time? How many times did the timeline get reset? You don't have to keep track of any of that shit. You're like, okay, this is an alien race, that's an alien race, that's an alien race. Cool. It's
Yes.
simple. There's a lot, but it's so simple.
Except when they have these ridiculous fucking names that I don't know how you could expect anyone to remember.
Like Zudar,
No, like
Polomax Vic.
what was his name? It was in the second arc of Green Lantern Corps, which I'm sure we'll talk about later because like I said, it was rereading that. And it's when Guy teams up with this lantern.
I have my Bible right here.
Oh, Mr. Big Man with his big omnibus.
Yeah. They're in the Vegas system. We're fighting the Spider Guild.
His name was, I swear it was like Chthon. Betos. Yeah. But Guy just calls him Thos. And I'm like, who the fuck would remember that regular name anyway?
Chthon Catheros. Yeah.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows the trouble they see.
Nobody knows the sorrow, which
awesome.
has me really interested. That's a plot development in Green Lantern that I can't wait to read more about. If I'm being honest, the Sorrow Lanterns.
Yes. See, that's the Dominators.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to find those. Is that him right there? I can't remember what he looks like.
That one.
It's like issue 5 and issue 6.
It's a Guy Gardner, story, right?
Drawn by Dave Gibbons, if that helps.
I'm on that right now. He's with the Yolande.
Yeah,
of course.
From Petrasus,
which is probably the only name that really stuck with me because I just like saying it.
Oh yeah, and this is the first appearance of the corpse.
Yeah,
the Bagel Dog. That Daggle. Von Daggle. Shit. I knew it was there somewhere. So here is Kithos.
Do you say Kithos or Chithos?
I always said Kithos.
Okay, because I read it as both, and I prefer.
It might be Chithos. I've never seen it pronounced.
Oh.
Heard it pronounced rather. Where the fuck is Chithos? Was it early on?
He's in the bathroom.
Maybe I'll get my copy.
Yes, please. The dark side of the green.
It was faster.
This whole story arc blew my mind when I was reading it. With the corpse.
Yeah, how fun it was.
I
don't want to get too sidetracked.
Yeah, I mean, you did want to talk about Green Lantern Corps because you recently bought all the fucking trades.
Yeah. This red pimply MF.
Oh, okay, yeah, Kithos Chthon.
Yeah.
It might be Chithos.
The guy's just like, fuck that, I'm calling you Thos. And I'm like, I totally get that.
Yeah. Everyone's favorite stick in the mud. Salak.
Yes, Salak. Who is really just such a pain.
Oh, he's such a dickhead.
Oh, man.
And not because his head looks like a dick.
Yeah. Nice.
Okay, so I'll ask you this: of the new recruits,
Mhm.
and then we can get into a commercial break. Of the new recruits that appeared in Green Lantern Corps Recharge, which would include Soranik Natsu,
Yes.
I will even consider, even though it wasn't in Recharge, we'll say Iolande or
Mhm.
Betrasis, but also Vathsarn and Izavat Call, as well, and we can say Green Man and Stell, even though I think they were both appeared at some point prior to Green Lantern Corps, but they were heavily featured. Who's your favorite?
Oh, definitely Soranik. Yeah.
Soranik.
Soranik really gets the center of attention, but
Yeah,
close runner-up is probably Vath and Izma.
yeah,
We just had such a there's so much that I wanted to talk about, just about the series in general, because I'd kind of forgotten all the themes that they really touch on. But
yeah,
there's so many great moments where you really get to see what it actually means to be a lantern, and it
yeah,
gave you a greater appreciation for, like, wow, they really have to, sacrifice, and how much the duty supersedes personal interest. Like, there's the story where, and it was so stupid at first. I was like, this feels like a joke, but Vath is like, where the hell is Izmod? He's gone for like the whole issue. And he's like, where the fuck have you been? And he
yeah,
goes back to his home planet, of Thanagar, and he's like, where the hell have you been? Where in space have you been? You've been missing like all day. I've been calling for you. And he's like, sorry, man, but I'm in love and I really need to mate like now. And I
yeah.
can't wait. And I'm like, this is so stupid. But
I
they
need
make
to fuck like a
they make it so
lizard.
genuine too, because he's just like, well, I mean, it's like, it's my time, and my lover.
Flashback to Young Justice in Love.
Yeah, well, he's literally just like, he's like, I can't wait, and Kalira is like so horny right now. We need to mate now. And then
She's
I forget.
ovulating. We've been working on this for 4 months now.
And I forget who shows up from the Vegas system, but like they're right above Thanagar, and Vath is like, you need to come. Like, being a Green Lantern is more important than you having sex right now. So he has to go reluctantly, and then he comes back and he's like, oh, she mated with someone else. And now he's sad, and I forget. He raises his ring as though he's getting ready to attack, but they don't.
It's like, I'm trying to make babies. No, you need to come. That's what I'm saying.
It was like it was comical, but it was so sad at the same time.
Yeah.
Where he's like, it's my time. Like, this is the time when the land dweller Thanagarians need to mate, and I can't put it off. And Vath is like, I don't care. You're coming now.
Yeah.
You're a Green Lantern. It's your job. Yeah, there's that, and then there's all the stuff with Soranik on Korrigar, and how she's basically like an outcast because she's wearing a Green Lantern ring. And all that stuff is so good. And I forgot how interesting the themes that the book tackled were.
Yeah, there was a lot of great stuff.
Mhm.
Ceramic with her personal identity and dealing with the struggle of being Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Vath and Isamot overcoming their hatred of each other to eventually become blood brothers. That
They
whole
have a lovely,
moment,
kind of like relationship.
Yeah. That whole moment when Vath lost, I think, his legs, right?
Mhm.
And then Isamot was like, hey, guess what? Turns out I can regrow them, so here, have mine. And Vath wakes up and he's like, what the fuck did you do to me?
How did you think this would help me?
This is not cool, man.
Oh,
I hate your species.
you guys are our enemy, our mortal enemy.
Yeah.
You would give me Iranian, your disgusting Thanagarian leg.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was surprised to see that we eventually got to move on. I really did want to talk to you about it because there was so much to unpack. But I was surprised to see that, because I've made it to probably like the halfway point of the Tomasi run, so I'm just finishing up the Sins of the Star Sapphire arc. So I've passed the Dave Gibbons stuff, but I forgot how much of like main character Soranik and Guy, or I guess main characters Soranik and Guy kind of were to the series, and how Kyle really doesn't enter until much later.
Yeah, he's kind of just in the background a lot.
Yeah.
It's not really until closer to the Sinestro Corps War does he become a major player, and then after that, he's like
he's like
the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess that's because he was not an honor guard lantern at the time, because Guy was as a recharge.
I thought Kyle got inducted at the same time as him as an honor guard.
It didn't say in recharge. He just had like kind of an honored status, or like a respected status. Yeah. They show up and like, Solak is like, oh, Kyle, like you're important lantern. You're lantern number 1. You're the one who brought back the Guardians.
Yeah.
Kai shows up and they're like, kick fucking rocks.
Yeah. So, you're the torchbearer until we meet Sodamyat the Daxamites.
It's like, you're the one who brought life back to the Guardians. Yeah. Guy's like, I don't want to teach the new lanterns, and like, we don't care.
Yeah, just do
Fuck
it.
Off. Serve your duty.
But in true Guy fashion, he does it so poorly that they're like, oh, fine.
he like gets a genuine moment to. That was probably the first time I'd read Recharge in 6 years. Yeah. And he like gets that genuine moment to shine where he's like, no, I'm gonna be the football coach for a second and like, call the winning play, and he does, and he gets his honor guard status. He's their wild card, and I love that.
Wild card, bitches.
Yeah. Well, literally, he's the wild. It's like, if we ever need like
Green Lantern Corps,
he's the Charlie Kelly. Like, if we ever need someone to just like, fuck shit up in a weird situation, he's the guy.
Exactly.
Pun intended.
That is why I love Guy Gardner, because as every lantern nowadays says, there's nobody else I'd rather have watching my back.
It's true.
Yeah. He's the guy that will take the punches so his teammates don't have to.
That's very true.
It's perfect.
And he will always stand by his man.
Exactly. And that man is usually John Stewart, if not
usually,
Hal.
Yeah. One of the two. Hal, it's debatable. He'll pull his ass out of the fire if it's really desperate, but not before we put in a few laughs.
Which I also like, despite the fact that Hal and Guy have this kind of like rivalry between them and not a general enjoyment of each other's company, when it comes to Lantern business and Justice League business, them just talking to each other is like so, like they're old buddies. It's so prominent. It's like they know the job needs to get done, so even though they don't like each other, they're gonna talk like they need to. It's perfect. Two most hot-headed people in the Corps, and the second or third issue of War of the Green Lanterns kind of proves that, because they got into a fist fight on an ice planet with no
legs. Oh my god. That was the Emerald Warriors issue, right?
I think so, yeah. I don't remember exactly which one it was, but that was awesome.
Yeah, what an issue. No, I love that they maintain that relationship of like, we don't like each other, but we can respect each other in a way.
Yeah.
And we know how to work together, which is
exactly. Which
know.
Made that last issue of Green Lantern Rebirth one of my all-time favorite issues.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Welcoming in all the new Green Lanterns, and they send out all the rings. And
even now, just like Rebirth is not Recharge, but Rebirth. When they all fight,
I'm
five
sorry.
of them. I
thought you were talking about. My brain was like, oh, he's talking about Hal and Pals, not.
No.
The miniseries.
No, like the actual 6-issue miniseries when
they
have the 4 Earth Lanterns and Kilowog fighting Parallax. It's just beautiful.
Yeah. No, that was awesome.
Right. So that's enough.
Anyway,
talk.
Sure, we could talk more, but we're scaring away poor Josh.
I'm here. I ain't going anywhere.
We need to get back to our regularly scheduled.
What I'm sitting here. Okay, you want to know what popped into my head, Rob? While you and Brandon were sitting here talking about all of this, going back to something that you originally said, and you know how many aliens I have around in my head? A lot. Matter of fact, I would say too many. And I think that your memory would be a lot better if you had to forget one group of things. So, if you had to choose, gun to your head, if you had to choose one of the following, which have an ungodly amount of characters with an ungodly amount of names that you keep track of somehow, you have to ditch one. Green Lanterns.
Uh-huh.
Well, let's just say lanterns.
Okay.
Pokemon
So-
or Digimon?
So lanterns includes like all so lanterns in general, or Pokemon or Digimon.
Hmm.
Right. You have to forget one. You have to completely forget everything you know about one. Which one
Lanterns
it
is
gonna be?
definitely not it. Lanterns I'm keeping for sure.
I don't know. I honestly wouldn't be against forgetting lanterns just because it would give me the opportunity to learn it all over again, and enjoy it all over.
That's
again.
fair. That's fair.
I would love to get the chance to, experience Green Lantern, Green Arrow for the first time again, or relive War of the Lanterns for the first time, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Leave it to Brandon to find a fucking loophole.
A very wholesome loophole.
Yeah, well, because I don't know. I've thought about that too. It's like what I originally I thought that's what you were posing, the question you were posing, which is like if you could forget something that you know super well, what would it be? And I thought it was going to be more of like so you could relearn it again and enjoy it again, or enjoy it in a new light, I suppose.
Brandon's like, I've got my answer ready.
Yeah,
For me, that would be Digimon. I just barely am able to keep up with all the new stuff anyway. Pokemon I want to keep because when my kids come of age, I want to like wow them with my superior knowledge of the first 800. I was like, how do you know all of this? I was there
you
when
get a
it
bit
was
of an
written.
unfair advantage.
You're
You've been
not close the
playing.
old scrolls to me, child. I was there when they were forged. But yeah, I would drop
in the
Digimon.
days of the Game Boy.
Yeah. I played the first one, children.
And everyone's
You
like,
need to know
"Oh,
that.
oh my god! Did you play on the
You are
green
a
screen too?"
I played Pokemon Green, if that's what you mean.
Fair enough. Digimon is easy to forget anyway.
There, honestly though, there's a lot. And honestly, that would be one
Watch
of
a
the more
Gruda War
fun
Hexa
ones.
Damamam.
I'm not surprised that exists.
I
That
just
would
made
be.
it up.
It still wouldn't be surprised. There's some names that are just fucking out there. That might be the most fun for me to learn again,
Hmm.
because there's a lot of like real life lore in Digimon as well.
I'd still pass it.
Yeah, that's fair. All right,
Pokemon is hard
so
enough to keep up with. I don't need
Yeah,
Pokemon with 13 syllable names.
I'm kind of lost on the latest batch still.
I don't even know what's in this generation.
They're on Generation 9.
Oh god,
That's too many generations.
It's gotten a little much for me.
I
I'm good up
dropped
to
that-
Generation 5, and I know some of 6.
Rob's sitting over there like, I can't wait till I can look at my kid and go, did you know once upon a time Raichu didn't have an evolution?
Raichu still doesn't.
When your kids are 20, he probably will by then.
We'll see. If they give us Gigachu, I'm just kind of done.
Gigachu? What the fuck is Gigachu?
Raichu's evolution.
But Raichu doesn't... Oh, is this some kind of fan stuff?
No, you said Raichu would have an evolution. I'm saying it's going to be called Gigachu.
Oh, I thought this was something you pulled from somewhere.
Yeah, I pulled it out of my ass.
Oh, hey, where else are you going to keep it? Gigachu. I like
Gigachu.
it.
Yeah.
There are some gigas
And
in
it travels through time because it uses gigawatts.
Well,
where we're going. We don't need roads.
Exactly.
All
That's right.
right.
We're going to TNA. We don't- Cody Rhodes, where we're going, we don't need Cody Rhodes.
Well, that's just not true. All right, you guys ready to stop talking about comics and start talking about comics?
no.
Okay,
No.
I was just checking.
But let's talk about comics in a minute. Let's go for a
Yes.
commercial break.
Oh, well, that sounds like a darn good idea.
I
Mostly 'cause
also
I
realized
really got to use the
not
wash.
talk about Batman and Robin Year One from Mark Waid.
Ow!
So, fuck
Shit.
me. Oh, that
about
was the
that
one I was most excited about.
Yeah, that's also happening.
Yeah, that's happening. There you
Batman
go.
and
There's
Robin
the
year
announcement.
one.
It's awesome.
This
It's
Mark Waid and who?
DC's Mark Waid and Chris Samney, who's
Right.
the greatest fucking artist on this planet. I
Whoa.
Captain
I-
America and
He's
Bucky.
good. He's amazing. I don't know what greatest.
Dude,
Nah.
you don't even know. You don't even know how much I love Chris Samney.
Have you?
I've been
looking
following.
at Montos
I have
recently?
been following Chris Samney's Battober posts, which is literally just when he posts like his custom drawings for Inktober of
Yeah.
like Batman related scenarios for 5 years consistently. I think I own pretty much everything he's ever published.
Wow.
Which
Impressive.
was incomplete until like 2 months ago when I finally found a copy of the Oni press book he did, Capote in Blood, which is like his first work. You don't even
Right
know.
on.
Chris Samney is like, oh my God. DC's finally doing their version of Captain America and Bucky, which. And I'm talking about the miniseries, not the
Yeah.
concept, which also had Chris Samney on art, just in case you didn't catch the reference.
Yeah. Was
Okay,
it also written by Mark Waid?
It was not written by Mark Waid, but it was written by Ed Brubaker. So
Yeah. Okay, it makes sense.
there you go.
Well, that's to look forward to. It does look good.
I can't wait. Just look up the announcement. The art will have you hooked in a second.
Definitely.
Well, all right. You heard that here, probably first. And then we're going to hop on out for a quick second, take a commercial break, and we will be right back. It's going to be a legitimate break this time. Rob needs to step away.
Yep.
And we will see you in just a minute.
All right. Josh, are you here?
Jesus Christ.
Josh, are you here? Hello?
Yep.
Can I share a very sad story?
Sure.
So I ordered a
Get yours.
sandwich from the grocery store while we were recording the podcast, and I'm pretty sure they typically will leave it like outside on our front porch. I was like, oh, I'll get it. Once we do our commercial break, I'll just run down and grab it. Little did I know that it had been sitting out there for like 40 minutes. So I just walked down to check on it. That shit got raided It was covered in ants and flies.
Oh
I
no!
was like, no, my sandwich. So I was pissed. So
I'd be really pissed too.
yeah,
Damn you, DoorDash.
I was just like, oh, looked like a squirrel got it too. So yeah, I'm impressed.
Yeah, that's some crazy. Wow, 40 minutes.
I was like,
40 minutes, and you
well,
had
it
flies,
probably
ants, and a squirrel.
it probably got there earlier. I just wasn't paying attention. Talking.
Damn.
Just like, oh, my sandwich, and it was a really good sandwich too. It was on.
I mean,
really nice.
apparently.
I know it was on this really nice white bread that I will occasionally get, but now it's gone.
White
It's
bread.
like that fancy ciabatta bread.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, that's good stuff.
Oh,
I like when it comes to white bread. Like the only thing I dig is ciabatta and brioche.
oh
Good stuff.
yeah, brioche buns. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I
Absolutely.
feel spoiled when I have a burger with a brioche bun.
yes. Yes. I am right there with you.
My sandwich. Okay, go on.
Stop it. You're talking about a sandwich being swarmed with ants, flies, and a squirrel, and for some reason, it's making me hungry. Oh,
I was
you know what?
supposed to
I
be
think
eating
it's
that
sympathy
now,
hunger.
so now I'm gonna. I don't have time to cook something.
It's. I think I'm experiencing sympathy hunger. So. Oh boy. What a time for comics. Oh, and Rob is back.
Rob is back.
Well, he's kind of back.
Yeah.
Oh look! Well, look what he's doing. Do you see what he's doing, Brandon?
What is he do? I can't even see. He's blending into the background.
He's eating.
Oh, that bastard!
That rat bastard.
Oh.
Can you believe? Oh, look! He's
Ooh.
going in on it hard. Too.
Disgusting.
Leaning his head forward, just mowing down, and he can't hear a fucking thing I'm saying. We're back already.
Just eat it.
I'm here.
Oh, you evil man, you.
What?
Do you not understand the pain that you have caused us today?
Me?
Yes, you.
What did I do?
While you were gone, all kinds of stuff happened. Brandon had a sandwich raided by a
The
squirrel.
sandwich was desecrated.
How did
So
you
like
know that
Hermes
squirrel was behind me?
Conrad.
Now
My
I'm suffering
man
from
is
sympathy.
No,
hunger.
literally, you laugh, but that was exactly my reaction. Like I walked outside and the bag was torn open. It was
Oh,
like my sandwich. No.
That's
Oh
The only
God!
thing they left was
Wait.
the chips. And I can't eat just that.
So is this you ordered food and the squirrel got to it before you?
So yeah, while we were recording, I ordered a sandwich because I knew we were gonna have the commercial break. So I would just run down and get it, and they must have dropped it off while I wasn't paying attention, because it clearly got dropped off like 40 minutes ago or something like that.
Oh shit!
And I just didn't see. And they usually leave it like on the porch outside. So I was like, well, I mean, I guess I can run down there. I'm sure it's fine. And of course, this would be the day that it was not fine. And everything in the known forests of Ithaca, New York decided to raid my sandwich. So,
God damn it! I just got this shirt. I just spit Coke on it. I'll be right back. We are back from commercial.
Are we though?
are we?
We are. And let me go change this real quick. And while you guys BS about Batman and Robin.
Oh my god. I can't. I don't even have the energy. I'm depressed about my food.
Oh.
So yeah,
Sorry.
Batman and Robin, they're cool, I guess. Fucking they do superhero shit or something.
Oh, I feel bad.
It's okay. It was bound to happen eventually. It was just poor planning on my part.
Well, I guess we could jump right into the books. But we got to do honorable mentions first.
Yes, yeah, I was gonna wait for Josh to pick that up. I don't even remember what the honorable mentions were for this week.
Oh, it's Dark Knights of Steel Allwinter #1,
Okay.
and John Constantine Hellblazer Dead in America #7. I have not read either of those yet.
Neither have I.
So we're waiting on Josh.
Not so honorable mentions, I guess.
No. Dishonorable mentions.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you think of Sodam Yat?
He is cool. I think why am I saying this like this is the first time I've ever read Sodam Yat? No, I'm speaking in the context of like him first appearing in the series. No, I think he's cool. I really kind of appreciate the relationship they're building up between him and Aricia. Not just romantically teases or whatever, but just that they have like a really nice partnership. So there's like a great moment in the Ring Quest arc where they're going after like all the Yellow Lantern rings, and that's when they end up on the Mother Mercy planet. And yeah, they have like just a bunch of nice moments where like Yat and Aricia are both taken by the Mother Mercy, by Mongol, and then kept in the like threshold of the Mother Mercy, but then they're free. And Sodam Yat's like the first one to comfort her and kind of talk her down. I was like, that's really nice. Like, I like this bond that they have with each other.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, Mongol shows up later in this episode.
Yeah.
Which we should probably get to.
I suppose we could.
Yeah, we were gonna jump in, and I realized we still have to do honorable mentions, and that's all you, because we haven't read them yet.
Yeah.
That's all me. That's not a problem. I did get a chance to read both of our honorable mentions this week. First up, John Constantine Hellblazer Dead in America #7. Holy crap. And I mean, not only is the art wicked cool for a Constantine book, but man, and I am being dead ass serious here, if you are a fan of the Hellblazer John Constantine, you are really truly missing out by not reading this book. 8.2, you know what? Hell, 8.5. It is so good. Dark Knights of Steel Allwinter #1 is our second honorable mention this week. It occurs 20 years after the War of the Three Kingdoms, which is what they are calling the last series. And there's a whole new spin on some things here. You'll have to read it to see what I mean, because if I tell you anything, it's going to be giving away most of it. But this is not a continuation of the same story. It is much different, and the art is really, really good, especially on that very last page. I also give this one an 8.5 out of 10.
I have a question, though.
No.
Well, that sucks.
What's the question?
I was looking forward to that.
The question?
Oh, the answer.
Oh, is that a new Batman villain or rehashing the old one? What was your question?
Did the question ever have, like, Vic Sage? Do you ever have a villain called the answer?
No, but Batman did.
That did used to be my Twitter handle, and I thought I was very clever for that.
I mean, whenever we have questions, we go to you, so
that's true.
You are.
Well, it was also supposed to be like a joke. Like if the question ever had a sidekick, it would be called the answer.
The answer, yeah.
This is why I should never work at DC. I have too many bad ideas. I
should get a job at Bad Idea Comics.
I think they're so funny. I think they're like, oh my god, this is hilarious. But if I was given like unrestrained power, You know I would lean into all this shit.
Just do it
You-
like Mark
you do
Russell
know
and
they're
do
really-
lean into it.
There really was a Batman villain called The Answer. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
But,
all
but
right.
the answer would be specifically like Question Junior, basically.
Oh, excellent. It's like Cloak and Dagger, except it's question and answer.
Yeah.
Oh, no, wait, Q&A. There you go.
Yeah.
It would be like the most obnoxious character you ever have, and it's like I would have a really. This is why I'm like.
Oh, wait, hold on.
I should
No
not-
accent, but total comic book guy.
Yeah.
His face, his catchphrase is actually.
just like the most insufferable person, and you have like these super serious scenes with the question in Hub City, and he just says like the stupidest thing, or it's like the question is like, we need to get to the bottom of this or something like that, and he's like, actually you can't get to the bottom or something something stupid like that.
Yeah.
I was
Or like I have
actually, this
another
is a
couple
mystery.
theories.
Mysteries are an idea. Ideas don't have shapes, which means they can't have a bottom. Now, my question is,
Yeah.
why did they discontinue the Arch Deluxe from McDonald's?
It could be like the question always poses the question to the mystery, and then the answer is the guy that always comes up with scenarios that could possibly solve the riddle.
Mhm.
Or Vic Sage, being a major conspiracy theorist, could also, the answer could be like the guy like, no, that's a conspiracy theory, you're a dumbass, shut up.
Vic Sage be like, it's only a conspiracy if it isn't true.
Do you know what they're keeping hidden in Area 51? Nothing. They're keeping nothing. It's an army base.
Shut up, answer. I know what I'm talking about.
Shut up, question. You're an idiot. That would be an odd couple. Odd couple scenario.
Yes. Oh, for crying out loud. If that ever happened, then I'm going to need to have their number one arch nemesis be onomatopoeia.
The question would be the messy one.
Be
The
like,
answer would be the
bang?
super neat one.
Excellent.
No, but my question was, because every preview I saw was black and white pages. Is this book in color?
I can't answer that.
Why not?
Okay, so
I mean, it's called all.
yes,
I can only
look,
assume black and white.
every preview page that you have seen
Yeah.
is 100% accurate, but I
Okay.
cannot tell you whether or not the comic is in color or not, because it could ruin some things for you if I explained that any further. As in, ruin the big cliffhanger on the very last page with outstanding art, as a matter of fact.
Color? Really? Wow.
But
Okay.
yeah,
I
so
have
that
my
one's
theories, but I'm
I'm
just gonna
like,
wait till I read it because I'm lost.
Yeah, yeah.
What?
Go ahead and read
Explain.
it. Go ahead and read it. It's
Answering if
really
there's color or
interesting.
not will spoil the book.
I was like, what?
that's a fucking take.
Whoa. What kind of book is this?
Right now, it seems as though it's a bit of a mystery.
A mystery that can only be answered by the question.
And answer.
My guess
actually,
is by some shape or form, color appears at the end, but I don't know.
Or-
Maybe I'm
or-
giving it away.
Color has been taken from the world, and that's why it's
Could be.
all winter.
Yeah.
Who could possibly take color?
Whoa.
whoa,
Is it
It's not Joey Lawrence.
Crazy Quilt? I don't.
whoa.
It's not
Rainbow
Keanu Reeves either. Rainbow Raider.
Rainbow Raider.
Yes.
But this
A
is
villain
not
who
in the
really
DC
should
universe.
be in Green Lantern comics now, considering the emotional spectrum is a thing.
Oh my god. Never even thought of that.
Yeah. He has
Jesus,
not shown up in Green Lantern comics since
the-
before the emotional spectrum was a thing.
the destruction that he could wreak.
Yep.
Wow. Interesting. That shit needs to get on Twitter. Could be a hell of a story. But
Yeah.
all right. So before we get sidetracked by ourselves again, let's go ahead and jump into some
Books.
action.
Well, I don't know what you're
It's-
talking
it's
about.
there.
You're part of the way there.
I'm like,
It's-
I had to look at the schedule to see what we were talking about.
like this ain't action comics.
No,
This
it's
is
some action with a question mark.
super comics. Super.
Yeah, there you go.
That's just falling
That
apart
transition
possibly.
didn't
Yeah.
get butchered at all.
that transition certainly was.
Whoa, yeah, that was like a plane going down. It just kept getting worse.
It happens.
A Kryptonian spaceship, if you will.
Yeah. Unfortunately, this one was not carrying the hope of civilization. It was just a terrible transition. Crashed and burned.
Rob, I feel like you need a better webcam or you need to sit closer to it because I worry that people with epilepsy will
You are glitching a lot.
hurt by how
I think I need to
fucking much
just
you're-
stop having a background. I don't know what it is.
All right.
Okay,
Superman.
Superman number 16 with some action.
Written
It's
by-
written by Joshua Williamson with art from Jamal Campbell. Welcome back.
Hell yeah.
Long
Letters
time.
from Ariana Mar, and a cover also from Jamal Campbell, which is stunning as usual. Oh no, Ollie fell over. That's a sign of bad things to come.
Usually.
Usually, or maybe it's just the universe commuting to me that Ollie is bad right now and he should be not standing up. Perhaps. So we start with a flashback of Clark the Magician, or Clark the Conjurer, as he calls himself, attempting to perform a magic trick in front of his folks. But that flashback is quickly interrupted by the young Clark seeing himself bleed, and we transition to the present where Superman is undergoing surgery by Mr. Terrific and Dr. Midnight, who are stressing the importance that they save Superman because he's the one that will save all of them. We also get some more details just on Amanda Waller and the Amazo army that is currently going through the world right now, or the country at least, and rounding up super-powered people. But we cut over to Metropolis, where the task force is on the lookout to make sure that no one is breaking the curfew right now. And we're following a mysterious cloaked figure who appears to speak backwards. So I wonder who it could be.
Rainbow Raider, duh.
Yeah, obviously. Rainbow Raider is known for speaking backwards. But no, this mysterious cloaked figure is quickly spotted by the task force and is asked to remove their cloak. Or sorry, not remove their cloak. Is asked to come with them because they are breaking curfew. And that's when the figure rips off their cloak and reveals that it's Zatanna. And the members of the task force are kind of, mocking her because she uses magic. And now that all the super people have lost their powers, what good can she do if she can't even show any magic? Maybe she can, do a corny trick or something. And we get a brief flashback of Zatanna learning some skills, or alluding to learning some skills from a young Bruce Wayne who's studying with her father, Zatara. And that's when Zatanna whips out some moves against the task force and is able to lock them down, but is seemingly ambushed by more members of the task force before a last-minute save from Mercy, who takes her over to the Fortress of Solitude, where a bunch of the heroes have been holding up. And they're starting to get cabin fever or something like it, because they're fighting and they're angry, and fucking Ted Kord is yelling at Red Tornado and is like, are you a traitor? How can we trust robots? And Red Tornado is in his feelings because he's like, I'm a robot, and how dare you insult me? And we work together, kind of. maybe at some point on the Justice League, and this is like a betrayal. And that's when Superman steps in like their parents and is like, stop fighting. This is silly. And they do, because he's Superman. Mr. Terrific and Dr. Midnight are telling him that he needs to rest and heal because his healing abilities, his healing factor, I don't know why I said healing factor like he's Wolverine. His healing abilities are, again, not functional right now, that he's lost his powers. But Clark does not want to lay up and rest. He really wants to find out what's going on, especially what happened to Connor and John. But Mercy approaches him and tells him that she's been trying to save everyone in Metropolis right now, but unfortunately was forced to make a tough call between saving Clark and saving John and Connor. So she chose him because she thought he would be more important, but she feels like she failed, and Clark is able to console her with a rather nice moment. Zatanna, however, reveals that there may be a way to kind of fix their problems and hopefully get the upper hand on Waller, and reveals the existence of something called dark roads, these invisible magic pathways that are invisible to most people, but hopefully will allow them to travel undetected, and also allow them to start to fight back against Waller. Clark is a little confused as to why he is the first choice that Zatanna has opted for. And Zatanna informs him that death is a big factor of traveling through these dark roads, given that Clark has died before and also was very close to death not that long ago. He is the perfect choice. While Clark prepares to make his journey, checks in with Mercy one last time and asks her to find someone. But before we find out who that is, we cut over to Supercorp, or rather the ruins of Supercorp, where members of some kind of resistance featuring Jimmy Olsen, Lena Luthor, Silver Banshee, and the now amnesiac Lex Luthor are looking to find something to Supercorp that will help them fight against the Amazos. And also Lena is looking to maybe send out some messages as well to alert people what's going on. But they get a surprise visit from none other than Peacemaker and Peace Wrecker, as well as the rest of the task force, who are going to show up and make sure that they don't interfere with Waller's plans. Jimmy tries to step in as Silver Banshee is getting harassed by the rest of them. Peace Wrecker is able to get a gun over to Jimmy's head, who tries to do something heroic but kind of falls short of his abilities. And that's when they get a surprise save from none other than Lois Lane in some tricked out Superman armor, who informs them that they need to make sure that Lex gets far away from the rest of them, far away from Waller as soon as they can, to make sure that things don't get worse. So that's where this issue ends. How did you guys feel about Superman number 16? That's encouraging.
I found out how to disappear.
Whoa.
Now you see me? Now you don't. Now you see me? Now you don't.
He's finally figured out how to use light constructs.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Bending the shit around him.
Yeah. Sorry, that's gonna be too much fun. Then.
He's
I'm gonna disappear halfway through the show, and you guys are gonna. I'm just gonna stay silent. You guys are gonna wonder where the fuck I went.
Whoa! Where did he go? Disappeared. He was able to use his lantern powers to refract light, so he would appear invisible.
But really, I've been here the whole time.
Okay, Sam.
Probably surely.
How did I feel about Superman? I think Lois descending in Lex's power suit was cool. I think that the idea that the rest of them is going to be suiting up in different power suits is pretty cool. We know that there's going to be multiple ones because they made it a point to say so. I feel
also
the same way.
The reason Lex would have multiple power suits to begin with.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, I feel the same way about the
Lexo suits.
Lexo suits.
Lexo
This is not a
suits.
leopard. I
No.
just love that word.
I feel the same way about the dialogue that I always do. It's just not good until we get to the back part where we got Lex, Jimmy, and Banshee, and then it was better than. It's not perfect, but it's better than his usual stuff for sure. Campbell's art is good as always, though it was a choice to make Pa Kent a freaking beast.
I mean, that was a younger podcast.
That was
I was
massive.
in the gym in the
Terrible
old
with that
days. You know what I'm
too.
saying?
Yeah,
It's like,
he was
is he
he was a
lifting
full-time
hay
farmer.
bales or is he?
Yeah,
fucking-
no. Rob's got a point. He's a farmer.
I grew up in
the
Michigan.
freaking Corn Belt.
Every single one of them look like they're string beans. This dude doesn't look like he lifts
grew
hail
up
bays.
in
He looks like he
Detroit,
bench
didn't
presses
you?
them. I grew up just outside of Flint, but within 30 miles of Flint, there's fucking farmland everywhere.
Fair enough.
And I mean everywhere. Oh, it stinks so bad. But anyway, truthfully, nothing really happens in the book. I mean, them getting power suits and finding out that they're hiding some heroes in the fortress, which, again, given how they make it a point to say they put the word out, but trying not to let Waller know, tells me Waller's going to find out really soon. It was okay, I guess. Another piece in the puzzle. I don't know. I'm not trying to be shitty. I'm trying to be the absolute opposite of shitty, Jimmy. Jimmy.
How did Jimmy have to do with this? Where did Jimmy come from?
Very different.
He's
Oh, that
guy.
Jimmy. That Jimmy. I thought you were talking about Olsen.
No, well, he's there too. But regardless, Zatanna says a magic word. They are supposed to forget how to say magic words, the right magic words to say. That's what we were told when that shit kicked off. Not that they lost their magical powers, that they would forget how to say the incantations. And here we are with Zatanna. First fucking word out of her mouth is a
Nepo.
spell.
I mean,
So that didn't exactly last.
Hang on. The word she said was Nepo. And if anybody is a Nepo baby.
I was gonna say, it's like she could just be talking about, this.
My
horrible
dad
outbreak
made
happens.
you.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. I mean, that's a stretch, but if you're Armstrong,
The door that she was speaking to is actually a Nepo baby. That door
It
never
feels like-
worked to be a door.
Yeah.
It was
Hey,
born.
Nepo, open. Come on.
right. Its mom and dad were doors. It was handed its entryway.
Rob, when
Um,
you clapped, the lantern symbol appeared between your hands. Really weird, but also really cool.
Yes.
Now you need to time that out with Joe Hendry.
Yeah.
Um,
Say his name and he appears. I believe in Guy Gardner.
oh, wow. It worked. Epic.
I told you,
Awesome.
I know how to make myself disappear now. I've got it figured out.
Excellent. If I'm being honest, there were like 5 pages altogether that were needed for this issue. Not a lot happened. Again, I'm upset by the Zatanna thing. Campbell's art is great, and the back half dialogue did pick up, so I guess I will give it a 6.25 out of 10. No, it's a 6 out of 10. That magic word thing is pissing me off.
That's still generous for you. Maybe I'm misremembering, but where did they say that?
Is
it
it
was-
Absolute Power 1?
It was either that or it was in Task Force 7, number 1.
It was one of those two. But yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. They just forgot how they're supposed to. Everybody who has powers loses their powers, and magic users lost the ability to know the incantations.
Right.
I don't remember it though as like they forget the incantations. It's like I remember it as they forget how to do magic. So it's not like they would forget the words; they just
Yeah.
forget how to bring the power out. But on the flip side, like even if that is the case, when it comes to Zatanna's magic, it's not like the incantations are easy to forget. It's literally just words backwards.
Yeah.
Forgetting Zatanna's incantations is not like John Constantine forgetting incantations where he needs to remember some demon language. It's literally like, what's the backwards version of open? Nepo. Okay, Nepo. It's like it's not like it's
You would
hard.
think in that case that Zatanna would have forgotten that words only need to be spoken backwards.
Yeah, but her magic is literally called backwards magic. I mean, that could be the case, but like, I don't know. I'm not gonna put too much weight on her saying Nepo because she's a Nepo baby. I don't fucking care. That's my headcanon now. She's only a magician because her father was one. I don't give a shit. Yeah, apart from that, the stuff with Mercy was really cool. Showed a lot of character growth for Mercy and really came into her own being a member of Supercorp and really accepting the fact that it's no longer LexCorp and Lex is not running the show and she doesn't need to do nefarious things. Like, she's being inspired by Superman because he is a beacon of inspiration and is realizing that she wants to help now more than she ever has before. And I really like that growth, that character growth for Mercy. The fact that she even feels bad for even saving him and not being able to save more people, like that's a fucking move. I just was cringing so hard at the argument between Red Tornado and Blue Beetle that felt wholly out of character for all of them. The only person there that made sense was Booster Gold, sitting in the background laughing because that's what he does. Just the other two just felt so out of place. Glenn did have an explanation that maybe it's just because they're under duress, but I can understand that for Ted Cord. I can't understand that for Red
Tornado. Understand for Red Tornado, which is so odd because his personality is not such that he would be that offended by people questioning robots.
Unless he's being written by Mark Russell.
Yeah, by Mark Russell.
That was a fucked up series.
But we're not counting. What was that? One Star Squadron?
Yeah.
Yes, One Star Squadron.
That was great. Yeah, the art fantastic. The story leaves a lot to be desired. We'll see where it goes. I do agree with Josh though that the later half of the issue, when it comes to the B Squad at the time with Lex and Al, was actually really well done. The dialogue there was quite good, and the story was interesting. And Lois in a Lexo suit. Thank you for reminding me, Brandon. It's definitely a Lexo suit.
Of course. Even if it has an S on it.
Yeah, but it was still built by Lex. Same difference.
I shared the panel in
Discord. So it's they forget. If you use magic, you will no longer remember how to conjure it.
Right.
Yeah, well, that's not the same as forgetting the incantations, though.
What the fuck do you think conjure means?
That's what I'm saying. They forget how to draw the power out of them.
Isn't Zatanna's power both incantation but also belief? Or something.
All
like
magic
that.
has to be belief.
Yeah, so it could be an aspect
to remember how to conjure something is to remember how to do it or how to bring it forth.
Yeah.
So but it's also like that aspect of bringing it forth might be the belief conviction component that Zatanna needs to conjure it. So she might remember the words, but she doesn't have the power to really, believe wholeheartedly in it and use it.
And not all magic is done by incantation either.
Yeah, that's also true.
Okay, I use the word incantation. Here it says no longer remember how to conjure it, which means no longer remember how to make magic.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No longer remember how to make magic.
Actually, there's no make magic.
This is from Dr. Strange.
Forget how to. John Constantine does that sometimes. He doesn't always use words.
Well, right. Exactly. Yeah. And we'll get to that later.
But it doesn't mean that Zatanna would forget how to say a word backwards. Is all it is, right?
Oh,
that's all I'm.
I guess the way that I read it is. The way that I took that is you won't remember how to use your magic. So John isn't going to know the right sigils to draw or finger movements to make. And Zatanna isn't going to remember that. All she has to do is speak backwards. That's the way I would take it.
I mean,
Constantine is
that's-
going to know what he's supposed to be able to do. He's just not going to be able to remember how to do it. And I feel like Zatanna should be the exact same way.
And that's a fair thing. For me, the idea is magic is equal parts coming from within. It's a power that resides within you, and it's part of your life spirit, your life force. And as magic is equal parts sacrifice as well, when you use a bit of magic, you're using a part of your life force, and it's forgetting how to use that power and conjure that power out of you to force it out into the world.
Yeah,
That's
You
how
mean,
I
like,
took it.
speaking
because
backwards?
even the panel that you
No,
shared,
not
it doesn't.
nothing to do with the incantations. It's how to draw the power out of your body
Yeah,
and actually use it in the world.
yeah.
You
Because
can
even the
still you could take a book and you could read it, even if you forget the incantation. You could say take a spell book, say, okay, it says knock la teth, but you still don't remember how to draw the power out of you, right?
Sure. All right, we'll go with that one. Still a 6 out of 10, but we'll go with it.
Oh, I mean that's fine. I just like
Yeah.
I don't think Zatanna remembering Nepo is that big a deal.
Okay. We will put a pin in it.
Okay.
There's no reason to go to war over Nepos. America's doing that already.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Well,
tell that to a whole host of people. I think I was done. So yeah, it's also a 6.5 out of 10 for now. It's not great. It's got some cool moments. It's got some cool stuff, but it needs a whole lot more substance. Hopefully next issue gives us that substance.
Yeah, I don't have a lot more to add other than I agree. I didn't really like the moment between Reddy and Ted Cord. Felt very forced. Nice moments with Super. Nice moments with
so weird.
nice moments with Jimmy and the rest of the Metropolis gang, I guess is what I'll call them. But yeah, ultimately not a ton of substance, which is disappointing because I was hoping this would really kind of focus on, Superman's response to everything that's going on with absolute power, and also his response to losing powers. He seems surprisingly chill about it.
Shit
Remember
happens.
the last time
I
Superman
die.
lost his powers? Yeah, like losing his powers and almost dying, and he's just like, oh, okay.
I mean,
I don't know.
He's still groggy.
I know he's Superman and like he
Yeah.
deals with this shit all the time, but it would have been nice to see him process that a little bit.
So when he reached over and grabbed Zatanna by the shoulders to talk to her, he was really just
holding
steadying
himself up.
himself.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
He was trying not to fall over.
Whoa! The
Whoa.
floor is moving.
Hey, Nepo baby, come here.
Nepo baby. Oh my god. I mean, if we're being real, Zatanna is kind of a Nepo baby.
She is kind of a Nepo baby, yeah.
Would she have been as famous as a
Zatanna-
magician without her father? I don't think so.
You know, who was at one point the greatest magician on the planet?
Was it Giovanni Zatara? Yeah, I'll bet it was. Anyway,
Wait, do you mean to say his name is not Zatara?
no.
What?
Believe it or not, no.
I'm pretty sure many people believed.
Oh my God! Some people shouldn't
Oh,
read
that-
comics.
Yeah, it's like Mario.
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
mean, Mario.
Which also means Luigi's name is Luigi Mario. But we
Yes.
need to-
Luigi Mario.
No.
no, just wrong. 7.5 out of 10. for
I
me.
say March. I don't say March.
Yeah.
You don't say merch?
I don't say March.
You're saying
You
merch?
don't say merch. How are you not talking like,
Like
a
merch?
Canadian?
Like merch you buy in
March.
store?
March. It's
Get
March.
it on March.
Not saying March. Not
Sounds like
freaking,
you're saying merch. or
Louisiana or
little
something.
more newfie.
March.
March.
Yeah, so that's some pretty newfie. That's pretty fucking newfie.
Pretty fucking newfie, my bad.
Hey there, everybody. What's
Hey
on
there,
this?
buddy.
Is
What's
it
going on
merch?
in the button march?
Say merch right now is your
Is
favorite.
Newfoundland even a real place? It feels like something someone made up.
See, when they
It
say
is something someone made up. It's like none to Parbat, but if you
every
look right,
place is
it's
someplace
there.
someone made up.
I suppose, yeah, if we want to get philosophical with it.
Yeah, and when people talk about how Canada is a magical place, they're talking about Newfoundland.
No, they're not. Newfoundland is like the weird part of the fucking wardrobe in, in The Lion and the Witch.
It's
like,
the dark
what the
corner of the
fuck?
portal
Can't
we dare
believe
not venture
Grandma
because
was
they do
wearing
nothing
that.
but eat fish and have a weird accent.
Hey, Gabe.
You just get too close to the dark corner and all you hear is, "Hey there, everybody! How you doing, everybody?"
God, I would run for my life.
Rob's not even talking as fast as he should be to do a
Nope.
Newfie impression.
Not
Not even
against Christian
fucking
Derby.
close. Yeah, you got to slow that shit down.
Oh, God.
It's like
I-
time-lapse photography,
Yeah,
but for
I've-
your ears.
I've got a pretty good Canadian accent. I can't mess with Noofs. I
Oh,
really
no.
can't. Newfies are a whole other culture.
They really are.
Seems kind of scary.
Yeah,
All
I'm
right.
related to some Newfies too. It's wild.
Oh.
Yeah.
Distantly, I assume.
No, actually, my brother-in-law.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, he was born and raised here. His parents are Newfie.
Hmm.
Like born and raised Newfie.
So still distantly.
Kind of.
Whatever.
But like, bit of column A, bit of column B, everybody.
Just a little bit.
And just
Yeah,
like,
that's
was
that's
that English?
The first thing you need to learn when we're speaking Newfie is when you're saying, like, when we say buddy or guy, they say
Yeah, it's
bye.
one syllable. One syllable.
Bye. They're saying boy, but it's B apostrophe Y.
Oh.
Hey there, everybody. How you doing, everybody? Hey.
I'm fascinated by different regional dialects or whatever you want to call it, but that is deeply upsetting to me.
Shit. You think that's bad? Come down to deep South Georgia or
Oh,
like super South Louisiana.
no,
Oh,
I don't need to go back
Fucking
there.
crap.
Oh,
Oh
God.
my.
Yeah.
Or go to
Oof.
Quebec and start, like, Quebec City or Montreal and start talking like a Torontonian.
Oh my God.
You will get kicked out of restaurants.
Go into Montreal.
What's like the I've
Look,
heard
man, if you go
like
up there into
Toronto
Montreal and you start talking like one of them there deep South rednecks, they not gonna just kick you out of the restaurant. They gonna put you in that goddamn box. They gonna dump you in the bin, son.
I'm getting PTSD by South Carolina summers.
Jesus.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's like, what's like the I was trying to think. I was like, what is the Toronto accent again?
It
Like,
Okay, bud.
it's hard to talk about, you know.
coming
but,
to
like,
Toronto.
it's just kind of
Yeah, hold on, he's
you
doing it
know-
right now.
You know, buddy. It's you know, you
Yeah.
just you come into Toronto, bud, and you know, you just come here and you just talk Torontonian, you're just talking like Toronto. You heard?
Yep. And just make sure that second T don't show up.
You know, fam. You just talk like Toronto man. That's all, man.
Toronto.
Fam.
That's what I was trying to think of, like with the Toronto man accent.
Toronto man accent. That's all it is,
Toronto
fam.
man accent.
Yo,
Wait,
fam.
there's
Just
really
Toronto
a
man
Toronto
accent.
man?
Crazy fam.
Toronto man accent.
What is
Toronto
it?
man's.
Yeah.
Toronto man's, fam. You don't know Toronto
I'm
man's?
feeling-
Come
what
on,
is it?
fam.
It's like, I'm feeling cheese fam or something like that.
It's like a weird mixture of Canadian, Caribbean, and Indian.
It is the weirdest thing.
Holy fucking Ontario.
Toronto is what did
I
say?
mean, if
Toronto
you couldn't-
is
Toronto.
Canada, Jamaica, and India.
Yeah.
yes.
That's Ontario. Holy
That's
shit, that's
Toronto.
so fucking accurate.
That's Toronto.
Uh,
There's Woodbridge is Italian. Brampton is all South Asian. That's where I live. Mississauga has a heavy East Asian population. That's south of us. Caledon is where all the white people live.
I'll be right back.
They're just north of us. But yeah, and Toronto is like the mixture.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's the Toronto man's accent. It's like a weird mix of Canadian, Caribbean, and Indian.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. You don't know Toronto man's accent, fam? What's wrong with you, fam?
I don't. I just don't watch YouTube videos, man. Oh.
I grew up in it.
I mean, I know
I
you
grew
did.
up with this shit.
I know you did. I mean, you and everybody else.
Yeah.
For me, like my kids, like, have you seen this, or have you seen that, or have you seen this, or I'm like, where was it at? Is it? It's just on YouTube? Then probably not, dude. I go to YouTube for tutorials.
Yeah.
It's like if I need to learn how to fix something, take it apart, mod a video game, you'll catch me on YouTube. Every once in a while, I get a notification, something related to wrestling, and then that's about it.
Yeah. I've gone down a wrestling rabbit hole on YouTube way too many times.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it's not that, it's old Machinima gaming clips or Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Whose Line It Is Anyway is awesome.
Yeah, you watch one Whose Line video on YouTube, you're going down a huge rabbit hole, and all of a sudden, next to Ken is your favorite YouTuber.
That is a beautiful show.
It
But
is.
I suppose we should probably move along. We are almost 2 hours into it,
Oh
and
my
we are
God.
just about to start our second issue.
Yeah, why the fuck are we
So-
talking about Newfie accents?
I don't even know.
All right, so
that's a good question, bud.
yeah, I don't remember Derby.
So I want to circle. It's like we probably race on through the Green Line or more.
Now you're talking like Toronto man's fan.
Just talking about. I'm trying.
Just gotta throw fam every second sentence.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck that, fam.
Yeah. Well, you fuck that fam. No, Toronto accent, man. That's all it is, fam. What you disrespect, fam?
Fucking guys, fam. All right, before
Yeah.
I go to war with my fam, Rob, will you bring us the next fucking book, please?
Well, I've got just the book for you to keep track of it because it's a journal.
Oh, damn. Where's it
Right.
at?
Did Brandon disappear? I was looking at my phone for the
I
book.
think he knew a dad joke was coming.
So he was like, I gotta get out of here before they hear it because I can't handle it.
No, he just popped up, said, I'll be right back. And tell me, I was really
he had a
hoping
sandwich.
I was really hoping he got a second sandwich.
Yeah.
No, I did not. I did not get a second sandwich. I did get my chips and an apple because I'm starving.
But are you going to order a second sandwich?
I want to, but I'm scared.
I'd be like on the phone with DoorDash. Look, dude, I paid the extra $3 for squirrel insurance.
Yeah.
You want to see? The sandwich is ruined. I could send you the photo, man, but no, I will
I could
not.
send you the photo fam.
I could. It'll be like stupid Canadian.
You're
It's probably
close
your
enough.
fault.
From
Anyway.
Jamaica.
You're close enough to Toronto. You can start using the accent. I
If
can't
you
wait
start-
to hear
if
you
you
use a New
start
York City accent.
talking in what I call the Great Lakes accent, it
Oh,
is nearly impossible to get rid of it. And there are several accents that
Is that
surround the
different?
Great Lakes. None of them are ideal to have.
Is
You got
is
shit
the
like
Great Lakes accent different from the Midwest accent?
Yes.
I 100% think so.
Yes.
Like, okay, so hold on a second.
You know Wisconsin accent?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same
Okay,
idea.
so it'll take me a second to slip into Michigan.
Oh, that's like
I've spent decades
getting it out of you.
making sure I did not speak out of my nose. But so when you're in Pennsylvania, everything is a little bit different, right? And you pronounce robot like robot, and if you don't say robot, you're not saying it right.
But,
Hey there, Rod, you gotta go over and get out of my goddamn beer now. I worked real hard to pay for that 6-pack.
That's almost like a slow down Newfie.
And it's like a northern Minnesotan. And then, hold on, I gotta really get out my nose.
Might be more New Brunswick.
We're gonna take a drive over to Port Huron, which is Port Huron, by the way. Gonna take a drive over to Port Huron, park my car in the garage.
Garish.
Garish.
Garish. Not
Must
even
be
garage.
Ugh.
Garish.
Yeah, I pronounce it garage. It's a garage. My family pronounces it garage.
Like
Everybody
with
where
an
I came
SH?
from pronounces it garage.
Garish.
It's like a soft J-ish sound. JSH. I don't fucking know. All I know is that none of them talk right. And if you catch me slipping into Michigan where you can even hear the change in my tone and it's all coming out of my nose. If you compare this to how Isaiah talks, who is only one state away to the south, then you're not even gonna think we're that close together, bud.
Brandon is scared.
But not as scared as he should be of the robots.
Ugh.
I fucking hate Pennsylvania accent more than any of them. It's robot, motherfucker.
Yeah, there's an
There's
O
no
in that
God.
word.
There's robot, not robot.
There's an O in the word robot, 2 O's in the word robot. Just like there's an O in the word coupon.
Yep.
Yeah.
You don't say. How do you say coupon?
Coupon.
No.
That's hey, blame it on
No.
Michigan. Can't get rid of it.
Oh no.
No. Coupon.
Stop. Look, I don't know
Hughes?
whatever.
Just say it.
Anyone that
Just
pronounces
say
schedule like schedule has no business telling anyone how to talk.
Who the hell? I don't say
Like
schedule.
British people,
I'm gonna
maybe.
tell you.
Every single British person should not be teaching people how to talk. Anybody that says
Not every
schedule,
single British person says schedule.
anybody who does, British or otherwise.
Okay, but just say coupon for me one time.
Coupon?
Coupon. Thank you.
Sure.
Doesn't that sound so much better?
It's never gonna come out of my mouth that way. It took a lot of years to get rid of warsh and garish, so I'm really good.
What is warsh?
Wash.
What in the holy
You're
hell?
like, what the fuck?
Yep, I'm
So
right there
confusing.
with you, buddy.
Warsh.
And sink is often pronounced with a Z. Everybody pronounces the T in often.
Hmm.
Often.
Anyway, there's a million.
You're supposed to.
things
It's
I could do.
often.
Go home, Rob.
I am home. And
Listen.
I'm home often.
Listen.
I'm literally home.
Listen, Linda. Listen. All right.
You keep saying that often enough.
Maybe you'll listen.
Ugh.
All right. Green Lantern
But
War
it's
Journal
FT,
number 11.
not ST. God, there's English is complicated. You just don't know.
You speak Canadian. You don't even know. You don't even know, bud.
You know, I know, bud. You
Can
don't
I
even,
just say,
You don't even
Josh,
know.
man.
that was a very poignant observation.
Hey, man. Hey, man. You know, I haven't fucking forgotten about that. Like, out of all the shit in the last 2 or 3 months I have been a part of and have had happen, fucking saying poignant 3 times in a... You're making fun of my brain. Mama, Brandon's being mean to me.
Oh, well played, sir.
I-
Well played.
Yeah,
was-
he's
I
been
was-
sitting on that shit, and I'll hear it 3 more times, bare minimum, before I die.
Poignantly.
Poignant,
I thought you were just
Could
going
not
to say
believe it.
3 more times today.
poignant, poignant, poignant.
Oh,
There.
Marsha,
Now it'll never
Marsha.
fucking.
Okay. That's
Damn it.
enough.
We got
fucking
a
around.
half hour to get through the rest of the books.
Hey, you said that 15 minutes ago.
no.
No, but it was almost 10. And
Yeah.
we've got longer than a half an hour to get through with them, but we should probably jump on to the next one.
All right, so lightning round. Green Lantern War Journal. Why the fuck did I say it like that? Didn't I do that last one too? War Journal.
Journal.
Journal. Number 11. Fuck my Toronto man accent.
Journal.
Journal. This is written by
Journal.
Philip Kennedy Johnson with art from Montos, colors from Adriana Lucas, and letters from Dave Sharp, with the beautiful cover you don't see in front of you from Montos and Pascal Ferreira.
Yes. son of a bitch.
You have one job, Josh.
I have one job?
Okay, you have many jobs.
Oh.
But
I'm disabled and I don't get paid for any of it. No.
oh gosh. All right, so we open on John having another dream sequence inside the Dark Star of the Fen. What now?
I'm just laughing at what you said still, that's all.
What, journal? Or do you have one
Journal.
job?
You have one job.
You have one job.
It's not to keep a journal.
Yeah, you have many jobs, and none of them are involving a journal. Damn it. Okay, so he's inside the Dark Star of the Fen, still having a bit of a fever dream, all being progressed due to the influence of Olgrun himself. Or is it really because it seems that Olgrun's daughter, who is possessed by the Dark Star energy, is the one that's pushing him along inside this dream. But also in this dream is Byla Vok, who we met on the little asteroid where all the survivors were, who was also in this dream and turns out is apparently Olgrun's brother. So there's a bit of a reveal there. Meanwhile, back on Earth in Steelworks Tower, Shirley Stewart is being attacked heavily by I do not remember what this shadow spirit's name is, but
Star Shroud or something.
Star
like that?
Shroud, yes.
Yes.
Yes, Star Shroud. Little
Which sounds like a transformer, but continue.
It might have been. It might actually have been. Little Ellie Stewart construct that John left behind is doing her damnedest to protect Shirley. Even at certain points, Shirley says, "Can you just tell me the story
calling
that
me
I
Shirley?
was?" Shirley can't be serious. Tell me the story I was used to tell you, and that's when Shirley reveals, like, I know that like my mind is not all there. I know I'm sick, and I know you're not really my daughter. But I just want to feel that emotion again. And then Ellie Construct says, like, I promise John that I will protect you, and if you will allow me to and you guide me with your will, I can be absorbed inside you. I can be your weapon and your armor, and we will face this thing together. And Ellie and Shirley kind of combine together, and a giant construct of I want to say it's Ellie, but it might be a young Shirley. It's hard to tell. It's somewhere in between their two ages, I think. Arises in a green construct form, ready to fight Star Shroud face to face. Back in the Dark Star of the Fen, John is just beginning to break free of the dream after getting any info he does need. Of course, again, thanks to the help of Byla. He gets the information he needs from this dream and breaks out using his green ring energy. He's able to head back towards the asteroid where the survivors were holed up, and he is able to piece together as much as he can to rebuild the necropolis, which is what housed the Dark Star of the Fen and the power of Olgrun to begin with, way back during the Warworld saga in Action Comics. So he rebuilds the necropolis, and that houses the power once again. To a certain degree, not all the power is within. So he now has to face off against what is left of the power of Olgrun and the Dark Star of the Fen, not kept inside the necropolis, basically one-on-one until he gets a short-range communication on his ring from none other than Guy Gardner and Shepard, who arrive just in time to help John fight. And next issue is the conclusion. So during this issue, I've realized something, and I don't know how I didn't clue in before, but we have seen Byla before, technically, and there was in the Warworld saga in Action Comics, there was, I think, mostly in the backups during it was like Tales of Warworld or something like that. There was a character called Byla Esh, who was a Phalosian,
Yeah.
who would tell tales to the Phalosian children, and then later on was like the keeper of the power of Olgrun inside the necropolis and had to fight Superman to test him to see if he was worthy of the power. And that was the last time we saw him. He transformed into a gigantic alien worm, and that was the last time we saw Byla Ash. Now we see Byla Vok, who is tied heavily to Olgrun and the power of Olgrun. I suspect it's the same person.
Or
Somehow.
distinctly related.
Could be.
Maybe
What Josh said in a new accent.
You damn it. You said that over top of me saying maybe he's from Newfoundland.
Now, thanks to our great friend Glenn, he actually is pretty close to Philip Kennedy Johnson and posed that question for me to PKJ himself and asked, is Byla Ash and Byla Vok one of the same? And PKJ replies with, sort of. So that, to me, raises a hell of a lot more questions than answers, but I'll take it. Means we're probably on the right track here. So that's a big takeaway for me. We get some reveals about Byla is actually related to Olgrun. Sorry, trying to get in position here in my chair. So that was a nice reveal, and John is able to reconstruct the necropolis. That was cool. The art, fantastic throughout. We get to see Guy and John together again, along with Shepard, who I really hope sticks around. But if I remember right, next issue promises some kind of death, and I really hope Shepard doesn't die.
Well, that ain't gonna be Guy or John.
Could be Shirley.
Quick,
Could be.
calling me
Certainly been building towards it.
Yeah. I really hope Shirley doesn't die either. If it's a choice between Shepard and Shirley, Shepard. I love Shepard, but
Ouch.
damn, Shirley's like, she's too good for this world, man.
It is gonna be, well, that's a great reason to let her die. But anyway.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Art, fantastic throughout. Montos has done no wrong so far, despite what I might have said in the first couple of issues. But I take that all back. Like on issue 11 now, the Montos is fucking fantastic. I just
Has
didn't.
been Montos. I think you've rocked since you got here.
So did I.
I couldn't appreciate at first what I was really looking at.
Fair enough.
My problem was with the Dark Star constructs. How they always seemed kind of like blurry, and then later I realized like that's a point. There's a reason for that. Yeah. So
Right.
now that I've accepted that, I'm like, okay, I can't see this properly, and that's by design. Like, okay, this is pretty cool. Yeah, Montos, you fucking rock. PKJ, you know you fucking rock. At least I hope you know. You know we think so. This issue gets 8.75 out of 10, I'm going to say, because we got a lot of answers here.
Hell yeah, dude. I thought it was pretty cool when Ellie's construct merged with John's mom and made her look like what I took to be what John remembered his mom like when she was the badass mom that fought for her and Ellie. Or him
Fair
and Ellie,
enough.
excuse me.
Yeah.
It was cool watching the I don't know, I guess birth you could call it, of the Revenant Queen. That made this story really engaging, pulled me in really hard. All of the scenes on the Dark Star Fen did. The whole Olgrun story altogether, man, I'm like, give me all the info now so I can binge it, please.
Yeah.
And then complain that I have to wait a year. my favorite part of this issue, this whole run, is seeing John up in the air doing architect stuff. I mean, hell yeah. I feel like that aspect of John often gets forgotten. And it happens just in time for the whoop-ass segment of the run, Shepard and Guy showing up. I cannot wait for next month. Kennedy does such an amazing job respecting who each of the characters are and keeps them true to who they are without rehashing stuff or using corny dialogue or plots or stories just to pass the time. He gets into them and he puts those real characters on, puts the characters on a real page. BKJ is the perfect example that you can write big long stories that no one gets sick of and indeed wants more of when the run is over, without having to have filler issues or bumbling dialogue, turning up the cheese factor, or making things convoluted. Wonderful. And Previously War World Saga, epic stories that you can't get enough of. I want that everywhere. I've got it here. And with Montos drawing, I can't complain there either. I thought it was an excellent issue. I gave it an 8.75 out of 10 too.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I gave this an 8.5, just in another incredibly strong, great issue. I don't know. I feel like I'm always running out of things to say when you guys have said everything, but
Well, you should go first. I talk too
I
much.
suppose I should. No, the moment I'm surprised you didn't talk about more, Rob. The one for me that was really like, oh man, this is going to be one hell of a showdown. Is when John really figures out the nature of the Dark Star of the Fen and is able to reassemble the thing and has that whole like I'm the builder moment. I was like, oh my god, they said the name. He's now the builder. Everyone's been calling him the builder, and he's embraced it. So that was awesome.
I was curious if that was going to be like a major thing going forward, or just like a little nod to Worlds Without a Justice League.
Yeah, they really seem to be building it up. Yeah. But no, other than that, this series was this issue was great. So
Yes.
8.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I can't wait to see how this ends.
And how it continues, because
Yes.
it's an ending, but it's not the ending. I don't think so. Anyway.
I think all of us are hoping that it isn't. But
speaking of endings, you know who ended many times in the past year?
Oh my god.
a shit ton. Catwoman number 67. Who is ready for the pretty gritty kitty committee? Because things be tricky in Gotham City.
Did you have a stroke?
Written by Teeny Howard, art from Carmine Di Giandomenico, colors from Veronica Gandini, Tom Napolitano lettering, and a David Nakayama cover. Forgive me for what might seem like a quick summary here. It's a somewhat fast issue, but if I walked you through the whole thing, it would feel super duper dense. So essentially, this is where we are. Viceroy is sailing into Gotham, directly into the trap that Selina had set, working with Lady Clayface, Scandal, Tomcat, Onyx, and Iko as Catwoman with the Hasegawa clan. The full plan kicks in. Only problem is Selina is still dying, like actively. It seems to be happening really quick too. She doesn't want to reach out until Batman until after she's all done with this, showered, clean, had a little nap. The Kitty Clan kicks ass until Viceroy happens to show up at the same time that Selina goes down. She's saved, though, by Flamingo, the cannibal. I'm kidding. We don't know if she's saved. But Flamingo says he wants a pretty face, and the person standing next to him, after they have removed Selina from the battle, is ready to perform surgery. And he's performed surgery on Selina before with bandages on his face. Hush enters the chat. Well, damn, I didn't see that coming. Hush showing up, and at all. And I really hope Selina pulls through with this. I feel like her death is something we've not been teased with, but more like really slowly warmed up to the possibility of. Much like I did with Poison Ivy, which was originally the plan. I am buying the death. If it's not a permanent death or a death at all for Selina, then it will be for some part of her character as she moves forward with the Cat fam, which I think might be better than the Pretty Gritty Kitty Committee.
That certainly is less wordy.
But there's not really too much to complain about in this book at all. There are some spots where I feel like the art wasn't. There were a couple of times where Di Giandomenico could have maybe spent a little more time, but really the art is pretty solid, and the story way more than that. I love what Howard has done with this entire Catverse, and with the new creative team coming in really soon, I really hope they build off of it instead of ignore it. Because for me, this is the best Selina has been in a long, long time. One side note that bugged me here, and it's kind of big, at least for me. You know, these things just get in the back of my head and just go. So, Dick should still be scared of heights, yeah? Because after he was done talking to Selena, he just casually drops off the side of a tall-ass building.
And they did say this takes place before
Mhm.
Nightwing number 114.
Right, so
Yeah.
he's definitely still scared.
Yeah.
Right, but he drops off. That bugs me. A little bit of the art was off, but I do think that the issue was spectacular. Ooh,
Hold on.
I was going to give it an 8 out of 10, but with those two things, they are bugging me more. I'm going to have to drop it down to a 7.5.
Wait, what was the second thing?
Point.
There was Nightwing, and what was the other?
The little bit of the art where it seemed like Gian Domenico was just not drawing up to their usual standards. Just a few panels, but that and the Nightwing thing. Definitely.
I'll give him this. Scorpina is in this issue, and it's the best Brandon has ever seen Scorpina.
Best I've ever seen Scorpina?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Or Scorpiana.
Scorpion.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
I don't know if I told you this, but I don't hate Ian Bertram anymore.
What?
I've moved on. I don't
Wow.
know. It started very small. I to be honest, I don't even know what it was that I saw. It might have been a panel from what's the book that he did? House of Winchester, I think it's called, something like that, with Peter Tomasi. And I was like, "Who is this guy? He looks really good." And I looked it up, and I was like, "What?"
No way.
So I like, oh my god, I was like a kid sneaking around his dad's Playboy collection, where I was like flicking through the issue, like, oh, okay, I'll just look at the art. I don't want to look at it too closely, so I don't feel sick. And I was like, you know what? This isn't that bad.
Well, you flipped through Batman and Eternal number 11?
I have,
Oh my god.
yeah,
And you were fine with it?
I'm fine.
Holy
I'm
shit.
good.
That was your pick for the most disgusting panel of all time.
And you know, for a long time I thought that was true, but
my god.
things change.
You've heard it here first, folks.
Heard it here,
People can be
folks.
cured.
People can change,
Yes.
which is why I'm still holding out hope that we will change Josh towards his opinions on Riley Rossman. I do believe that with the right artwork, your eyes can be opened
Yes.
and you will see the truth.
Deathbed.
Yes.
Deathbed is the way.
I don't know, man. You
It could
just
be this
earlier today, you said that Chris Samney was not using the exact words, but you said that he's better
Greatest
than
artist of all
Capullo,
Yeah.
Jorge Jimenez,
Dan
Dexter
Mora.
Soy, Ryan Sook, Dan Mora. I mean,
Oh,
these are fucking,
I wholeheartedly agree with that.
Germanico.
but you'd be crazy, bro.
Okay, maybe not the greatest of all time. It's probably still Neil Adams, in my opinion, but very close.
Very close.
Definitely in my top 5.
Fucking.
So this is gonna sound horrible, but when I saw that Chris Samney art, Rob, who did I describe it as?
I don't remember, but I'm gonna be honest, it didn't really thrill me.
Disgusting.
I looked at it and I said, I can't even look at this shit. What is this Riley Rosmo bullshit?
Oh my god.
Look,
I don't remember
That's like
hearing that. or
borderline
seeing that.
insulting.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't know who it was. Maybe that was just a shit job on the Flash. We'll see.
Oh my god.
But he did try
I
to
don't
turn
even talk to you
Starfire into
anymore.
Nova.
I don't want to talk to you.
Fuck.
That is a personal attack.
I'm confused now. What about Starfire and Nova?
I said he did kind of try to make Starfire look like Nova, but that's some other time.
Well, speaking of Chris Samney, actually, that's a great segue into our next book. Not
Indeed
that
it
I
is.
want Josh to have anything to do with opinions on Chris Salmon.
It was that particular art. Just wait. Keep going.
Disgusting. No, Titans number 13 was written by Tom Taylor.
Wait, Brandon,
What's up?
you and I haven't actually talked about Catwoman yet.
Oh,
I don't want to talk about Catwoman. Oh shit. I guess we have to.
I mean, I can't say there's not much more to say after what Josh has said. It was very interesting. The Hush twist at the end was quite the twist. Did not see that coming either in the slightest. And I will say this, when it comes to whether or not Selena is actually going to die, it looks like the fact that she's getting brain surgery right now, she's probably going to make it through. But one thing I did notice in the cover reveals for DC All In October, is that the cover for Catwoman, the Catwoman that's on the cover, looks suspiciously like Eco's costume.
which is what has me wondering whether or not we're looking at a final death for Selena, temporary or otherwise.
Yeah.
The final death, according to this story
Yes.
arc.
Death. Maybe she'll just come back in a year with a haircut like she did last year.
Leading another mafia.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Preferably not in leather.
Catwoman Eternal.
Yeah.
Shut up.
I wouldn't mind another mob boss Selena. That was a very good art. But,
Yeah, it was interesting.
yeah.
I'm going to give it an 8.
Catwoman number 67. I liked two things about it: Hush and the art, kind of.
And they are
Kind of.
There are some really nice looking panels. I love the way that Giandomenico draws Hush and especially Nightwing. But outside of that, I wasn't feeling it.
Boy, oh boy, speaking of drawing Nightwing, there's something I'm going to get into later.
Boy,
Not in the next book, relax.
I hope you are not going
Drawing
to
a lot of
criticize
butts.
Danielle Di Nicuolo, because I would have to fucking storm out of the show right now.
Actually,
Yeah, I will join you in solidarity.
no.
Doesn't bug me
Okay.
as much, but I will protest just the same.
I appreciate the
It is.
solidarity.
It is not to do with the next comic.
Okay.
Ugh,
Good.
okay. Done.
Titans.
Catwoman, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
All done.
Titans. The cover actually there this time. Good job.
Fuck.
I don't know why you're being so mean. This issue was written by Tom Taylor, art by Danielle Di Nicuolo, who's
You
great.
guys finally love me.
Yeah. Colors from Adriano Lucas, letters from Wes Abbott, and a gorgeous cover from Chris Samney. I don't care what anyone says. Great. Anyone who disagrees can go to hell. But I guess not, because hell is kind of terrible right now.
For you.
Yeah. Well, clearly everyone else thinks so, because as this issue starts off, Hera shows up in hell and is like, what is going on? We need to fix this.
Says, the fuck?
Yes, but back at Titan's Tower with our last cliffhanger, Raven has Nightwing in a chokehold. I'm not going to make the horrible joke that you guys made last time about Raven choking Dick. And I do not fall for such childish jokes.
I wasn't the one that made the joke. I just said the words without thinking
Yeah.
it first.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
the one that burst out laughing.
Yeah. That's when I had to slap myself. I couldn't believe I didn't catch that when I fucking wrote it down. Raven chokes Dick, and I saw it, I wrote it, I looked at it again, I spell checked the shit, never once clipped. Rob starts laughing, and I feel like an ass. So
Anyway.
that's why it made it as part of the title for last week's episode.
God. Raven is choking Nightwing, who does not have any other names that we should concern ourselves with. When Beast Boy and Cyborg walk in, immediately are alarmed. Raven is like, no, this is not the way it's supposed to happen, and basically wipes their memory. So none of what just happened is anything that they remember. But in the meantime, as they're recouping from that weird moment, Cyborg and Beast Boy take a journey over to Kravia to protect a president who was recently elected or something like that, a Democratic president who was elected. And that's when they find out that the president is being attacked by green animals. And Gar's like, I'm a green animal. That can't be right. How is this happening? So Gar manages to save the president's life just before a starfish leaps into his mouth. And then Gar basically has a kind of epic fight with Apex Ava, who has Beast Boy like powers, except only is able
Oh
to
my god.
when she has killed the animals. After or during their fight, she discovers that Gar is able to just change into animals at will, and she's transfixed by this and is like, if I kill you, then I'll be able to turn into any animals. But before she can even get in any more attacks on Gar, Raven shows up, manages to block her away. They have a couple of funny moments where Gar mentions that he's going to wear Apex Ava's face, and they're both like, "What the hell are you talking about?" Anyway, good stuff.
Right, evil Raven turns around like the
Evil
fuck?
Raven's like, "What? Oh my god, are you evil?"
Dude, it's like, he's like, I'm trying to
He's
save
like,
the world,
I'm
but
evil,
that's
but
a little too far.
Yeah, I didn't think you were evil.
Right? Like you're Gar, right? The
Yeah.
flamingo was in the last book, right?
He's like, "What? You don't need faces. You sure as hell don't wear them." So Raven checks in with Gar, who is feeling guilty about not feeling guilty. Raven comforts him and basically says, I'm always going to be here to protect you. Back in hell, we check in with Blaze, who is kind of dealing with all the hell stuff right now. And that's when they, along with Hera and Raven's two brothers, check in with Neron, who reveals how he was able to basically separate Raven's evil self and her other self, and that evil self would become the dominant Raven, basically. But Hera reveals that she is there to just kind of set things right, and shows everyone present the new, I guess, member of their revolution that will be helping them, and it's none other than the Spectre. So now we're going to have the Wrath of God versus Hell, which is going to be crazy. Yeah, this is a pretty solid issue. I gotta say, I'm actually surprised how much I'm enjoying the what is it? This is called Dark Winged Queen, I think.
Wing Queen.
Yeah, for as much as I was kind of griping about how this definitely just feels like a retread of similar Raven stories where she's dealing with her demonic side, particularly after the fact that she kind of already exercised her demonic side in previous times. I was like, why are we doing this again? But I don't know. I mean, aside from that, it's fun. It's got nice moments, and I'm really just loving all the character work between the Titans that is just kind of driving the story forward. So gave this one an 8.25 out of 10.
Hell yeah, dude. What did you think, Rob?
I didn't.
Oh. Sometimes it's easier that way.
I still think, and I know it's the low-hanging fruit, and I don't give a shit. It's a missed opportunity to not have Apex Ava be called Beast Girl. I thought
there's already a Beast Girl
on the nose
right there. I don't
Beast,
care how on the nose it is.
Beast Girl is currently a character in Doom Patrol.
Don't care.
I guess you could be Beast Woman.
You're not my supervisor.
You're not my supervisor.
Don't tell me what to do.
Whenever I hear that shit, I instantly and I don't know why, but like my brain just goes instantly to Lawnmower Steve. Do you remember Lawnmower Steve?
No.
It was like This dude just repetitively gets pulled over for drinking and driving. 90% of the time, it's on a fucking lawnmower. There's a couple of times where he did it on other things like a fucking crane, a pallet truck,
What
a few different things. But he gets arrested. He resists. He tases him. The whole time he's saying, "You can't do this to me." Blah blah blah. I've got rights. I know my rights. And every single time I hear "You're not my supervisor," my brain goes right to, you don't. It goes right to that. I'm sorry. I'm laughing my ass off on the inside right now. Got tears coming out my fucking eyes.
It's the best way.
I know my rights.
But yeah,
Excellent.
Apex Ava is fucked up. Apex
Yes.
Ava. She's disgusting. Like she was drawn by Ian Burke.
Which I might have agreed with you 3 years ago, but I'm a changed man.
That still blows my mind. Who the fuck are you, man? You're not Brandon.
I don't even know anymore.
Who is your
Who
daddy
am
and
I?
what does he do?
Who's your daddy and what does he do?
I don't know.
Who is your supervisor?
Wait a second here.
Okay, Josh has an idea.
Oh,
Yeah,
I had an idea and then I forgot. Oh, never mind. Go ahead.
Right? I can't really say much more about this issue. It kind of just happened. The stuff with Beast Boy and Apex Ava was interesting. I was waiting for those two to actually like have a meeting at some point. So I hope to see more going forward with those two. Beast Boy having an actual quote-unquote arch nemesis, realistically. And stuff at the end with, what was it, Hera was there? Talking to
Yeah.
Neron and then Fist of God. And yeah, that is going to get interesting. Battle of the Gods. So that next issue, it promises a much more exciting next issue, is basically what I'm getting at. This issue is going to get a 7.5 for now. It's not necessarily bad. There's just not much to it.
Well, okay. I read this book and I was like, hello. Oh, that was good timing. I was like,
Hang on, I gotta answer that. We've been on the phone so long, or we've been on the call so long. I gotta answer this.
all right. So, hello. I like speed read through this issue,
Right.
and then had to go back and read it again. First thing, I just want to point out that until you guys said it, this entire time I've considered their name to be Ava Apex. Like, I think my brain just refused Apex Ava because it's just like Apex Lex. It makes sense, and either way works, but
Yeah.
it's just right until now that, I mean, I even had Ava Apex written down in my damn notes. I had,
Oh shit.
yeah. But I read this, I got through it, speed read it. I was like, what in the holy hell? I mean, Apex Ava, awesome. I wanted more of that story. A backpedal about on Dick knowing about Rachel, that was necessary. But Hera going to make an alliance with Blaze and Raven's brothers with the Spectre by her side, again, what in the holy hell? Really?
Can I
I'll
just-
do it myself then.
can I sorry, when you said Blaze,
Yeah.
I was just like, I really want one of Raven's brothers to be called Laser. So then I got the third brother named Blazer.
Laser and Blazer.
This is Blaze. This is Laser. This is Blazer.
Hi, I'm Larry. This is my brother Daryl. This is my other brother Daryl. He's probably too old for you, but shout out to anybody who used to watch the New Heart show. Yeah, so Again, what in the holy hell? The next issue caption kind of calls it. It's now Heaven, Olympus, and Hell that are all tied up into this story with the Titans tending to be the target. Taylor knows how to write each one of the Titans just perfect. The issue pops forward with a few different developments, and it's a book that I can't wait to read next month. The title's got me excited to see what's going to come. D. Nicolo's art well, damn it, Brandon's not here. All right, I won't fuck with him then. For the most part, it was damn good. There were a couple panels that I wouldn't say that about, but for the most part, it was really exceptional. I was gonna tell him, I was gonna say it the other way around if he was here. But again, not many panels to have a problem with, and everything in the story was great. I really like the Titans right now. Have for a little bit. I'm giving this an 8.5 out of 10.
This cover, wasn't this Chris Samney?
I'm sorry, say that again?
The cover, wasn't this Chris Samney?
Yes, it is Chris Samney.
Okay.
Yep. 100 Chris Samney and Mateus Lopez, but
the pencil is definitely Chris Samney.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
I think the colors definitely make it.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this cover. I'm not really a Chris Samney fan. He does draw well, but for me it's very few things. This cover was not one of them.
Fair enough. Yeah, I am
not D. Nicolo.
I am curious. What were you going to say about D. Nicolo? Because I am a D. Nicolo fan.
Oh, I am too. I was just gonna fuck with
with
Brandon and say, D. Nicolo's art for the most part. There were some panels I thought were great, but that's what I was gonna do.
Fair enough.
Yeah, you have to like D. Nicolo, especially if it's on a Titans or Nightwing book.
Yeah.
If you don't like D. Nicolo's art in a Titans or a Nightwing book, then you can't be a real Nightwing fan.
Exactly.
I will always say that. No offense to Redondo, but if like I had to pick one person to draw a Nightwing book for the rest of history, or for the rest of time, excuse me, it would be Danielle Di Nicolo. She's the one that gave him the butt.
Yeah.
She gave him the butt. But yeah, so anyways, I like Titans 8.5 out of 10. What did you think about it, Rob?
I already talked about it.
Oh, well.
I gave it a 7.5.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Very well. Well then,
yeah, let's fly on over to our next book. What do you think?
I suppose we probably should do that, even without one of the world's finest librarians.
Exactly. This is Batman Superman World's Finest number 29. You'll just have to settle for us backup finest.
Well, I said world's finest librarian, but all right.
Yeah. So this is written by Mark Waid with art from Dan Mora, colors from Tamara Bonvillain, and letter from Steve Wands. With the cover you see before you, very eclectic, almost MC Escher-like, and very
3D puzzle.
Yeah. By Dan Mora.
Yeah. Really cool though.
Yeah.
It really is. And okay, like usually you'll hear me bitch about what a cover has on it if it doesn't directly relate to the story inside, and I can see how people would think that about this cover, but if you think about it, this is damn near like the best kind of cover you could have for this particular issue.
Yeah, it doesn't give away any story beats, but it is almost directly related to what's going on in the story.
100%.
Yeah, it's actually really well done, really well thought out, and really cool.
There you go.
Yeah. All right, so we open up on where we left off last issue. Batman has been blasted by the sixth dimensional being. Brandon's back.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, so like I was saying, Niquolo's art, man, Jesus. No, I'm just kidding. Continue, Rob.
He liked it. He just wanted to fuck with it.
Fuck.
I knew.
So Batman has been turned into a marionette. That's right, I said marionette, not puppet, because this man has strings and wooden paddles, and it's the 60s. It's a fucking marionette.
There are no strings on me.
But there are on Batman, making him a marionette,
Yep, not a puppet.
not a puppet.
Although a marionette is a kind of puppet. But semantics.
You're a puppet. Wow, that was too far. I feel bad. You're a marionette. Is that better?
I mean, at least it's a comic character.
There you go. You're not a puppet, Josh. I genuinely feel horrible about that. That kind of just slipped out.
I think
You try so much in your life to not be a puppet. You are not a puppet.
Oh, God.
I appreciate your individuality.
Yeah, that's one way of putting it.
All right, so the sixth dimensional being is acting like a fucking child and playing with the vehicles like they're toy cars. Saying, oh, everything's so cute and little and adorable. Meanwhile, all the heroes and imps around are freaking the fuck out because Batman just got turned into a goddamn marionette, and he was the one with the plan to save everyone. Except he can still talk somewhat. After all, one of his villains is Scarface. If anybody knows how to talk like a puppet, it's Batman.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, Shay. Paul. So with just the one word "pull" that comes out of Batman's mouth, Robin and Superman have an understanding of the plan that he has in play, and the newish dynamic duo ask Mxyzptlk and Batmite to go and fetch every magic user they can possibly grab, which includes Zatanna, Dr. Fate, not Constantine because he's plastered, the lightning bolt from Johnny Thunder, as well as Dr. Occult and Prince Rahman, who are in a magical fight but realize that they need to put aside their differences and go save the world. So they all appear, and between the lot of them, use some magical ropes latched onto the sixth dimensional being and literally pull the time out of him. If you remember, this in the sixth dimension is time everywhere all at once. And in these golden strings, we see bits of time, some in the past, some in the present, some in the future that we know of, stuff that's even going on currently in main continuity. A lot of them are able to pull as much time out of the sixth dimensional being as possible, to the point that he's pulling against it so much, Batmite decides to go in for the kill. They do know that's happening. That doesn't mean that it's working because Batman is reverted from a marionette back to regular form. But Batmite decides to be a hero thanks to the inspiration of his hero Batman, and goes in for a killing punch. And with a bam zap kapow, is able to blow up the remaining energy out of the sixth dimensional being, leaving him in a tiny form. Dr. Fate and the other magic users trap him in a box of sorts and whisk him away to be confined in an appropriate prison. The wall surrounding the city has been dropped, and the remaining heroes are able to come in and save the day, or at least come see if they need to help with anything, but they're a little too late. But all that's left of Batmite is the mask he wore. Batman is holding on to it and very sad that he has lost a very annoying friend, but a friend nonetheless. An imp that believed in the power of heroics and believed in him so much that he was willing to sacrifice himself to save everyone. But just then, Batmite does appear in his underwear because everything got blown up. And with that, Mxyzptlk is a little going haywire, but that's when Robin is able to trick him into saying his name backwards, and he disappears back to the fifth dimension. As Batman lays his eyes on Batmite, he begins to burst out in laughter as Robin and Superman join him in a giggle, as we see Batmite without his costume looking an awful lot like Superman. Who'd have fucking guessed? What a gag. So with that, Batmite and Batman part ways, and Batman apologizes for always belittling him, um, and say that he is proud of him, but also to remember that he does live in a dark world, and it's not always happy-go-lucky that Batmite thinks it is. As Batman holds on to Batmite's tattered costume as a trophy, as Batmite goes back to the fifth dimension, a changed imp. And that is where the issue ends, and the story arc. The day is saved, everyone is fine. Next issue, Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman.
Groovy.
Yeah, so I really enjoyed the story arc. I thought it was a lot of fun. I've said before, I enjoy the imps. Mixes-Pitlick and Batmite specifically were a lot of fun in this arc. It was cool seeing all the little stuff through time, seeing teases of the future, teases of the past, and teases of the current continuity. That if they just looked up these ropes, they might know things are going to happen eventually. Superman's going to get shot in the chest and whatnot. But it's good they didn't, because then they would know what to look for. And then we wouldn't have the stories we need.
Fair enough.
Yeah. It was all really cool, the way they ended it. Finishing off this imp, I thought there would be a bigger fight to be had with the six-dimensional imp, but how many ways can you really have that happen? The man is all-powerful. With the snap of those fingers, could probably destroy the entire third dimension. So it was really cool. I liked it. The art backs up a really fun arc. But Dan Mora, in my eyes, could do no wrong. So with that, I'm going to give this an 8.75.
Fair enough. So my opinion on this book is that I decided to be nice to people listening, Wade, Mora, and myself, and read it after the podcast. I'm just kidding, but that would have been nice to me, right? There really isn't a lot to say. I haven't been a fan of this arc at all, but this was a good, clean wrap-up to it.
Mm-hmm.
The art is fantastic, of course, and the clothes was good. I can't for the life of me figure out what made Batman laugh so hard. I guess it's because he looked like Superman, the spit girl in the front, but that didn't grab me when I first saw it. I just saw Batman laughing for, like, no reason. But
I took it as the whole idea that you have this imp that is obsessed with Batman and everything Batman, and he wants to be Batman, and then he takes off his mask and he looks like Superman.
that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Is
Yeah.
all I saw was Imp. I didn't see
Yeah.
Imp Clark. But yeah. So the clothes was good. It was better than I thought it would be. For sure. There were a couple of things that I want to note. Two of them. One, Dan Mora can draw Frank Miller Batman way better than Frank Miller ever could.
Yeah.
And two, what is up with roided out full cowl Nightwing? Like, whoa, people will see way more than his ass now. I'm trying to figure out, like, the Frank Miller Batman part, I can totally understand where it comes from. We see Superman looking like his Superboy, like, age. Where the fuck did the Hawk version of Nightwing come from?
I want to see that. I'm assuming it's supposed to be further down the timeline.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess, but holy shite. I mean, Dick packed on some pounds, y'all. But regardless, altogether, I gave it a 7 out of 10. Did I do it again?
No, I'm trying not to say something.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Breathe. All right. Well, anyway, 7 out of 10, and that's all I've got to say about the World's Finest.
Nice. I wish I could chime in, but sadly, I did not get a chance to read this one. So.
Oh, I am super surprised.
Yeah, I know. It's
Damn.
usually been a favorite, especially with this arc, with the fifth dimension and everything. But no, I gotta get to reading that one when I get the free time.
Fair enough. It was a really good ending.
Dude, if I gave a World's Finest book a 7 out of 10, you're going to want to
Must be it must be
Yeah.
phenomenal.
check.
Can't wait.
It's no data issue, but it's up there.
7 out of
Nothing
10,
beats
World's Finest Imp issue, and I gave it a 7 out of 10. So,
Yeah.
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 Glad this issue is not
Yeah.
dead on the Bible.
All right, well, I guess we should
Move on to our next
roll
one.
on over to the next issue, shall we?
I wonder what it is.
Whoa.
I can tell you and show you too. It is Wonder Woman number 11, written by Tom King, art from Tony S. Daniel. Long time, good buddy. Glad to see you are back. Colors from J. David
Oh,
Ramos.
yeah, the
letters from
best
Clayton
Batman
Cowles.
artist.
Well, certainly up there.
Up
Yeah,
there,
top 3 or 5 at least.
top 5.
Worth
Easy.
it.
Top 10.
Easy.
Oh God, that was
Top
insane.
Well, okay, top 5 of the modern age. Brandon
Yeah.
keeps liking to throw classic artists in there, and that's just not fair.
I mean, you can't beat the classics. As
Norm Fogel, okay, yeah, like solid.
Solid. You get out of here.
Get out of here.
Hey, I'm Toronto man's, okay? If I'm like solid means good. Like shit.
All right. And colors from J. David Ramos, letters from Clayton Cowles, and a cover by the team of Daniel Semper and Tomu More. So we start off with Billy Batson, Bobo, and Jim Corrigan playing cards. Zoom out, and it's also Madame Xanadu, Constantine, Mary Marvel, and Diana there as well. Seems like they're playing one of my absolute favorite card games called Bullshit. I fucking love that game so much.
Wow. Okay. See, where I was growing up, it was just called cheat.
Oh, no, we call it bullshit because if somebody lays the card down and you call
Say-
bullshit on them, you say bullshit.
Yeah, and for us, it's the same thing, but instead of saying bullshit, you say cheat. It's the exact same game, just a different name.
I think I like bullshit better.
To be fair, we were in high school.
To be fair.
To be fair,
Oh.
I learned the game from Neopets.
Oh, well, there you go then.
Yeah.
Cheat. Anyway, if you've never played bullshit, look it up. It's easy and you'll love it.
It is.
So they are playing cards, hiding out, and an Amazo blasts through the window. Weird Amazo though, as it is quoting Charles Dickens' book Great Expectations as it grabs onto Constantine. The captain chases him outside, and then we see a major explosion, and apparently the captain is missing now. The explosion came from it having stolen John's magic. By the way, I just want to point out here that I realized that it was Great Expectations when I started reading it, not later on when Bobo realized it. So I started I'm like, okay, well this is Little Dorrit. This is the old Curiosity Shop. This is A Christmas Carol. The whole thing is a bunch of fucking Charles Dickens quotes. So the captain chases him outside, and then we see a major explosion. And apparently the captain is missing now. The explosion came from it having stolen John's magic. Anyway, that's when Diana realizes that they can't touch the Amazo, but not before it has touched the Spectre, taking its power. The team continues to fight against the Amazo while it spouts Charles Dickens quotes from, like I said, all kinds of his works, some directly from Charles Dickens himself in reference to his works, and those were only the ones that I recognized, the ones I did before, but I'm sure there were more. Anyway, the captain shows back up because he wasn't hurt. He was rebuilding the Eiffel Tower. Anyway, Mary and the captain go to take action against the Amazo right after it sets Diana on fire. And the three of them yell Shazam together. Mary and Billy can now run away because they have no powers. For some reason, the Amazo zaps Bobo, who, I mean, a talking monkey isn't something I would immediately suspect of having superpowers. But I guess technically, here we go fucking with magic and what that was supposed to be again. In any case...
Well, that does raise the question I was curious about. Like, Why can Bobo speak?
Magic.
Well, there we go.
Well, there we go. What?
I mean, that's what he took.
I mean, obviously, it just doesn't
Yeah.
fit the story. But where is I? All right, Bobo gets zapped. He was also caught in the Shazam crossfire, but it wakes him back up. He wakes up all right, but as a beast, not as Detective Chimp. He jumps at the robot, but he's just a chimp now, so he gets tossed aside real quick and easy as he goes, "Ooh, ooh, ooh," in the Amazo's face. Diana basically says, "Come to me, I'm the only one you want," and it grabs her and takes her powers, and that is the issue. Man, this issue had some issues. The captain sure doesn't seem like the captain as we know him now. This one, for some reason, still has Billy at the forefront by the way that he talks. And it's dated to take place during Absolute Power #1, so they should definitely be separate with the captain acting like an adult, not a 15-year-old. Diana just saying, "Here, take my powers," without me trying to stop you is messed up. The Amazo can steal magic, which isn't what's happening here. Magic users forget how to cast spells, not have their magical abilities taken from them. That's what we were told before. Even with someone else practically writing the story for him, he manages to get loose with it and not pay attention to anything else but what he wants to do. This isn't good writing and never ever will be. The art is really, really good. As is always with the book, the art is the shining star because it's never the story, never the story, the dialogue, the character of the characters. Pretty much everything in this book is incorrect. Man, I am so glad everybody is a Tom King fan. Writing like this is so much better than Philip Kennedy Johnson or Chip Zdarsky or Willow Wilson or Ron V. I wish all of those books just did whatever they wanted without paying attention to the world around them and without having any repercussions. That would be awesome. That was total sarcasm, if you can't tell. Then we got the backup. Go ahead.
Can I just say, like, if we have two writers doing the same idea when it comes to magic, maybe it's Mark Waid who's wrong.
Mark Waid wrote the initiative.
I don't care. You're not my supervisor.
I know my rights. All right. We've got a backup, and it wasn't Mark Waid. We got a backup written by Tom King, art from Belen Ortega, colors from Tamara Bonvillain, and letters from Clayton Cowles. Damien, John, and whatever Diana's daughter's name is. Trinity. They call her something else in here, but and it don't matter. Anyway, they go to a concert. It's by Black Canary, pretending to be or being paralleled to be basically some sort of fucking Taylor Swift. Damien's in love. A month later, while fighting Mongol, the fight stops so that they can all, including Mongol, talk about Black Canary like she's Taylor Swift or something. Fuck me, I hate Tom King's writing and stories so much. So much. So much. In the spirit of how I have been in the entire reviews this week, I am going to go as high as I possibly can to be as nice as I possibly can. And here, 4 out of 10 is as high as I can fucking go. Pew.
Fair enough.
Some would disagree.
Sure, some would.
Tell me, what did you guys think?
I thought the backup was cute. Lizzie, that's what they call her, Lizzie.
Lizzie.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember why. I thought her name was Trinity.
Isn't Trinity's like her superhero name, maybe?
Maybe. So what's her first name? Elizabeth?
Lizzie?
Yeah,
Lizzie
Lizzie.
Trinity?
Yeah.
Lizzie Trinity.
Well, Lizzie sounds like a nickname,
Yeah. I
like a
think
short version of like Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I thought the backup was cute. At first, I was like, "What the fuck are they doing?" And then I got to the end, I'm like, "This is dumb," but at the same time, like, it's kind of funny. Just, I'm not taking the backup seriously in the slightest. I'm not even really reading all of them. Um, this one, I'm just taking it as like a Sunday comic strip. It's in the funny pages for me, and
There's
like this one. Um,
there's no other way you can read them and find enjoyment.
yeah, like I'm not really taking the backup seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Besides, in the future, that may or may not even be real. So who fucking knows? The main story was, I took it as the prequel to um, Task Force 7 #1 because we read that first,
we
and
should
now this is kind of just filling in gaps.
mention that issue.
Yeah, the release order is kind of out of whack. If this came out before Task Force 7 #1, might have had a bit more of an impact on me, but because it came out after, I didn't really care that much.
Mhm.
I just thought it was cool they were all playing cards together. That was nice.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
No, seriously. Um,
Thank you for following that joke.
I will give it, and I'm kind of on the fence about what the fuck I want to give it because it's there. I'll give it a 5.
Mm.
That's nice.
Call it right down the middle.
I will give it a 7.5 out of 10, mostly because I also thought the backup was cool. I don't know. I was like, yeah, it's funny. It's funny watching Damien fawn over Black Canary like just Taylor Swift. I don't know. Maybe I was just in a good mood when I read it. The main story definitely leaves a lot to be desired, but it's not the worst. It's just kind of like Rob said. So the art is really good though.
As always.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess that's it for that, huh?
Yeah.
Suppose so.
Our last book of the week as we
Oh,
just go
we
over
made it.
3 hours.
Yeah, almost 3.5. And I am starving. So this is going to be quick.
His poor sandwich.
Oh, God. Yeah,
I've been hungry since you lost your dinner. I just want you to know that.
Then let's get through it. Okay. This is Nightwing number, what the fuck? 116. Written by Tom Taylor. With art by Bruno Redondo, colors by Adriano Lucas, letters from Wes Abbott, and yet another stunning cover from Bruno Redondo and Adriano Lucas. Basically, this issue starts off with Bloodhaven Police Commissioner Maggie Sawyer fielding a bunch of questions, but really kind of a whole conspiracy theory being detailed by the media of Dick Grayson kind of orchestrating this whole thing, him being heartless this whole time, and basically playing Bloodhaven like a fiddle. Dick, meanwhile, is locked up in the hospital under police watch, but manages to escape back to his apartment. Barbara is attempting to do crowd control for the superhero community, but Dick escapes and manages to make it back to the apartment, where he tells Barbara that he needs to go away and kind of clear his head, really make sure that he deals with this whole fear thing before he can come back and deal with Heartless. Barbara at first is like, okay, where are we going? And Dick is like, no, I need to go on my own. And Barbara is like, absolutely not. And Dick is like, this is a journey I need to go on my own, not because I'm being macho, but also because I need you to keep watching Bloodhaven, because someone needs to be here. And Babs is like, well, if you're going to leave me here, at least bring the dog. But Dick then tells her that the man he is going to see is dead. And already I was like, oh, I know who this is, even if the cover didn't totally spoil it. And we get a flashback to the last time Dick was dealing with his fears. And we got a little help from a man named Boston Brand. After that, we follow Dick as he travels across the world, basically, all the way to Tibet to make the journey to Nanda Parbat, where he arrives at the temple of Ramakrishna. Dead Man is very unhappy to see him, not because he doesn't like Dick Grayson, because he didn't do the whole "I've arrived and I'm so tired and I collapsed" shtick. Dead Man is like, you're not even playing up to this. What are you doing? This is such a shame.
Clearly, you haven't watched Iron Fist.
Like you're denying all the Oriental tropes here. What's going on? But over back in Bloodhaven, Heartless is giving a message where he claims to be Dick Grayson and that he has soldiers walking among the city, ready to strike at a moment's notice. And if they don't believe him, check one of the piers near Titan's Tower, and you'll find the body of a father whose son was in the care of Haven. And basically issues this as a threat, not just to say that he has soldiers waiting, but also that he wants the Titans to leave, which they do in a rather public way, if only just to keep the city safe for a while. Barbara checks in with Bruce and basically says that Heartless clearly knows about all the fear stuff that Dick is dealing with right now. And that's when Bruce decides that the city needs a savior, but it can't be Batman. It has to be Nightwing. So if someone's going to be Nightwing, why not PvP? And that's when Bruce, the 40-plus-year-old man, strips down, puts on the Nightwing costume, and poses, ready to take action as Bloodhaven's new protector, Nightwing. But like Grandpa Nightwing.
Wow, I never really
Said
realized until you
fucking
just said it.
Grandpa
He
Nightwing.
stripped down in front of Babs
That was all I could think about when I was reading that
Bruh.
sequence. And I
and
was
then
like,
put on her boyfriend's costume.
I'm sure she's used to it at this point, but I was just like,
Yeah, it's
You
like
didn't
there's
wanna-
no way she ain't
know,
seen him in his skivvies
yeah.
like
I'm like, you didn't want to
multiple
maybe duck away and change, but I guess not.
I mean,
No.
I don't think y'all are more familiar with the darker times of Batman the Animated Series.
Oh God, let's not even go
Yeah.
there. We'll be here
'Cause
for
that's
another hour.
all I can fucking think about right now.
Yeah, no, wow. This art continues to impress me, especially this issue, which I found to be just greatly entertaining. And if I thought last week's cliffhanger was the peak of what this arc would be, clearly I was wrong. I did not look ahead to the solicits for Nightwing, so I actually had no indication of what was going to happen next. So this whole reveal of Bruce suiting up as Nightwing was a total shock to me, and a very pleasant one too, if only to just give me some extra comedy, which I needed. And I actually sent this panel to Rob a little earlier in the week, and I was like, this was equal parts cool, touching, and hilarious all at the same time. Just seeing Bruce suit up as Nightwing, because I'm like, it's cool seeing him in the suit, imagining what that's going to be like. At the same time, it's utterly ridiculous because he's like an old ass man, and anyone that sees Nightwing save someone is not going to buy it for a second.
No.
Um,
I'm
but-
fully expecting him at one point to reach for his cape and just like,
Yes.
oh shit, that's
What
right.
I'm just waiting for the reaction that's just like someone
Does he
sees
do
Nightwing
this?
and they're just like, you look
Was he
like
working out?
older.
Yeah.
A bit more like, that's not Nightwing. I have seen. Look, let me pull it up on Instagram.
Where's
This
your
is
abs?
Nightwing's butt. This.
When's the last time you shaved? You look really disheveled. Have you been bulking lately?
Can I please, Mr. Taylor, please let
Make it match
Midnighter be in the
3000.
next issue?
What's that?
Let Midnighter be in the next issue, please.
Who?
Midnighter.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we
Gonna be
can't
like,
get
that ain't
Midnighter
Nightwing.
in.
I
too
know
much.
that ass anywhere, and that's
And
not
that is not
Nightwing's
the
ass.
Right. Midnighter, from what I understand, is going to be playing a rather large part of in the DC universe coming soon. So
Oh,
I'm
hell yeah.
looking forward to that.
That'd be good.
Agreed. All right.
Other than that, no, this issue is great. Tons of great moments. It's great. It's great.
It's great.
It's great.
I
I'm doing a How I Met Your Mother reference. I don't think it landed.
it's great. I get it, but
One
I
more
get
time and I'll believe you.
It's great.
It's great.
Yes.
No, but this issue genuinely was great, and I gave it a 9 out of 10. If you can believe it. Mostly for that last page. I was genuinely so surprised. It made me laugh.
I just realized how dark I look.
We were kind of hiding in shadow.
I look like the Emperor for a second.
To the dark side.
I agree. It's great. It's so great. No, the stuff with Deadman, I love seeing Dick Grayson and Deadman together. Just
Because it
like
makes sense.
it makes so much sense. I just like it's a pairing that you never really think about, but when you see it, you're like, I love it.
They
Love
are
it.
so similar in character.
Yeah, and
It's
they're
not even funny.
like their histories are intertwined, and like you said, it just makes sense.
Mhm.
But it's not even a thing that it needs. I don't even know how to describe it. It's just one of those things that feels good. You know,
I feel good.
feels good to see. It's
Yeah.
a nice part of Dick's history as a child. He had this hero, this mentor, this friend that he could always talk to, and this guy is still there, and also has controlled his adopted father's body once or twice. Like
Once or
it's yeah, just a couple times.
Yeah.
It's really fucking cool, and Taylor's voice for Boston is full of comedy, as I feel like Boston should always be. Equal parts arrogant and gruff and comedic.
Oh yeah.
Bruce suiting up as Nightwing has a lot more repercussions than I ever fucking thought previously, so I can't wait to see what happens next issue. Like I said, I hope Midnighter shows up. Art
If it ain't
fantastic.
Midnighter, it's going to be a 15-year-old on Instagram that's going to blow it. I mean, I'm telling you.
Or like
Or what
Stephanie
does
Brown.
DC call it? Tactic?
Tactic.
Something
If you're talking about the Speed Force comic, I have no clue.
Yeah.
I
It's
forgot
been in
all
a few
about that
different
book.
things.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember.
Anyway.
Lex book.
One of those. Yeah.
It's just,
I guess
it's
that's better
Lex.
than Lex
It's
Face.
X, but it's Lex.
No.
I'm sure they'll be doing that eventually.
Yeah. Which that reminds me of a question I wanted to ask earlier and I forgot while we were talking about Superman. So I'll leave it for after this. Remind me, where did Dick end up in the present day? Because we've been following him heading through the mountains in the future. So it basically like caught up to himself at this point, right?
Yeah, I think that
Okay.
he was still on his journey at the
Yeah.
start of
And then like he escaped from the hospital and ended up packing up, taking Haley, and going off into the Himalayas.
yeah.
Right.
Okay, all right. So yeah, he's caught up to himself now. A sentence that only makes sense in comic books. And yeah, no, it's really fucking cool. This is easily the best story arc of the run, I will say, and it's a hell of a way to end the run. It really
Agreed.
is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give this an 8.75.
Okay, first, and I waited till the end for this particular review here because I wanted to find out if I was right, but I don't think I am. That last page, for some reason, I thought was an homage to at some point when Dick had worn Batman's suit, but I scoured the internet for like an hour, and I think I'm completely inventing that. But regardless,
That would have been cool.
Yeah.
It would have been really cool.
I know that it was a very slow boil, but man, this story is really cooking. Bringing in Deadman to help him like this is a great idea. It makes sense, like we mentioned before. Babs and the team doing as they are told to by Nightwing is a great idea. Bruce suiting up as Nightwing until I saw him holding the costume in his hands. That's something I never would have thought I would have ever seen. But it does protect Dick's secret identity. I think this is awesome, and it's been so good to read. Every tiny little detail over the last, geez, how long has Taylor been writing this?
Since issue 86, I believe.
Earlier than that, 78, I think. Which
78, that was it, yeah.
2021, I believe.
Yeah, so
3 years.
each of these details all just got tied up in this really pretty intricate little bow by one reporter. And it's all laid out. All the different little things that were seemingly part of smaller stories all play into this huge year-spanning Nightwing story, and I, for one, absolutely love it. I don't, and I never will, need to just move on to the next bad guy. This has been expertly crafted. I've been in it since Go, and I was not wrong. Just wow, and that's just the story. That is not even touching on Bruno Redondo. I mean, Bruno showed up and redondoed all over this book.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous in every way, in every panel. The whole thing is just exceptional. I mean, flat out exceptional. I'm so freaking excited by this whole series. 9.5 out of 10.
Oh hell yeah!
Nice.
I can't wait. I can't wait for it to be finished, and I'm so worried about when it gets finished.
Yeah, I do hope it finishes on a happy note.
Yeah. that
Well,
looks
I hope it finishes on a happy note. I hope it finishes on a satisfying note. But shit could get really weird after Taylor's run is done here.
Yeah. Well, that's sort of what I'm waiting to see.
Yeah.
You and me both, man.
Okay, before we move on to our next section, I wanted to ask,
No.
do you guys know, when it comes to current continuity, what's the status of why Lex is bald? Because I know depending on the continuity, there's a different reason. Whether it's kryptonite radiation, whether it's alopecia, whether he just shaves it, whether it's male pattern baldness. I'm just curious if it makes
Okay.
why he has a beard and no hair.
Y'all would probably remember and know far better than me, but as far as I'm almost guaranteeing that I'm wrong, but as far as I can remember, the radiation poisoning thing, I thought that was only in Smallville.
I think you're right.
And then the comic canon that I'm familiar with was just that he lost it in some sort of science experiment gone wrong. But I could be, to my knowledge, and again, I could be completely wrong here. Holler at Glenn or PKJ or the librarian here. But I don't think there's ever been any kind of mention about Lex ever having male pattern baldness or alopecia or anything like that. I think it was just a science experiment that he got caught in.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
I don't have the answer off the top of my head right now.
But
Damn
basically, it's understandable as to why he has a beard and no hair.
I looked at it and it didn't even cross my mind second. The only thing that popped into my head was, why didn't they give John Cryer a red beard?
That's a good fucking point.
It's a good fucking point. It's a good fucking point.
That's a good fucking point.
It's a good fucking point there, bud.
That's a good fucking point there, buddy. All right,
Oh,
before we give Brandon an aneurysm, let's get into our.
I'm
top
over here like
three.
about to pass out.
I
So
know. We'll get into our top 3 books and favorite moment if we had one. Brandon, do you want to go first?
yes, third place Titans, second place Green Lantern, War Journal, first place Nightwing. Favorite moment should be obvious, but it's Bruce dressed as Nightwing. That's iconic. I almost want a figure of it, and by almost I mean I do.
Well, I don't know.
Years,
I don't know if it's any kind of a surprise, but I mirror everything you just said. Titans, Green Lantern, War Journal, and Nightwing in that order, third to first. And I try as I might, man. I went through, because I knew that was going to be Brandon's favorite moment, but there is just nothing in this week that hit me as much as seeing the panels with him holding that and saying Dick would do the same for me. He has done the same for me. It was fucking awesome.
It was.
And then we turned the page, and he's in the Nightwing costume.
Like, oh my god, an old man dressed as Nightwing.
Never crossed my mind. But maybe that's because when I look at Bruce, I see somebody who graduated from high school the same year I did. So I don't go, oh, gross, old man.
I go gross because Nightwing is supposed to be young and hip, and Bruce is old and lame.
You just used the word hip. How young are you?
I'm quite young. Thank you very much.
My biggest concern is how the fuck that costume fits Bruce, because he's much
Uh,
thicker than Dick.
Spandex.
Yeah, spandex stretches, my friend, and I'm sure it's
Yeah.
stretching very hard.
It's like he's got bat seams. They use bat seaming. Bat string? I don't know. The shit is stitched together really well.
Yes, using that technology. Trademark. All right, as for me, it's very similar, but I'm replacing Titans with World's Finest, which gets number 3, War Journal number 2, and Nightwing number 1. My favorite moment would also be the same as you guys, but for the entrance, the interest of being different, I will say the final page of War Journal, where you get the best cavalry you could ever ask for in Guy Gardner appearing. You know the day is going to be saved when he shows up to fight on your side.
Hell yeah.
All right. Fair enough. That's a good point. And I will put my second one in. Seeing John with the globe around him floating in space, being the architect he is.
That was cool.
Becoming, if you will,
Yeah,
The builder.
pretty cool.
Yeah. That was cool.
So fucking sick. And this week was a really good week for me.
Yeah.
I only had
Week in
one
general.
book that I had to score under a 5. That's awesome.
Hell yeah. But to be fair, you kind of forced it. No, I mean, like there was one book you scored higher than that, but I feel like you forced yourself to do it.
I
You
did.
didn't really want to.
I forced myself to score the shitty ones as high as I possibly could.
I'm sure the listeners appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't, then forget you.
Forget about it. All right, with that,
Nice.
I will show off my new ink. I don't know if it's actually going to show up on
Nice.
camera. Oh,
Whoa.
Yes.
oh,
Man.
it's not showing up.
I mean, I can see it.
Yeah, but like for me, it's disappearing.
Well, I mean, it is flickering.
There
in and
we
out.
go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I got my Green Lantern tattoo finally.
It's about
Nice.
time.
Yeah.
It is about time.
Where it should be, on the right arm.
That's on the left arm.
No, it's my right. This
Oh,
my
then
left.
your camera's mirrored.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. All right. Okay, I guess that is it for the show. And I could talk about my figures for about 10 minutes, the new ones that I got. But since Brandon looks like he's actively decaying in front of me,
Yeah, I'm
we are going to get this
falling over here.
Thank you, everybody out there, for watching. We will be back next week covering all of DC's weekly releases. Same geek time, same geek channel. So that is the show. We're getting out of here, so you have to as well. Get the fuck out and be careful out there. And remember, in the Geek Matrix, everybody has a home. In the Geek Matrix, you are not alone.